Oh my God, greetings everybody. Welcome to Friday, April 7th. I'm very excited to be with you on a rare Friday night showing and having guests that I love. I'm just trying to figure out how to switch you guys around so I can talk to you first and then maybe Karl and then KC. So let me introduce my panel for tonight. To the right of me, I have the pretty infamous Alex Stein, a man who has absolutely made me lose listeners tonight, which I'm excited about because I love everything about how you troll with a smile, and it just, it's just very disarming to most people, and I've started to really appreciate how crazy you actually are. I have.
Wow, Monique. Well, and I have to say this, a lot of people that are Howard Stern fans kind of like my content. But, I don't know if there's a direct correlation, but a lot of people, if you like Howard, sometimes you like because I'm a ripoff of like Bubba and Howard. I try to be like a shock jock,
You kind of do, but you're kind of like a weird mix. And, I hate to even put him in the mix, but like if Stuttering John and the Surf Bros had a bastardized baby.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like Stuttering John, yeah, because he would
Alex is a stunt boy.
Yeah, yeah, kind of. I do the stunts. Yeah, I mean, yep. I like to. Andy Kaufman is also who I like too. But yeah. I mean, dude, I grew up idolizing Howard Stern. I've listened to every. Now he sucks, but I mean, dude, I've listened to probably 1,000 hours of just Eric the actor content. I mean, I'm a Eric Sean Lynch, I believe is his middle name. Diehard fan, and even Jan. I mean, I've tried to contact Jan. I mean, you're a diehard Howard Stern fan if you're in the Yoniverse. So
I'm an anti-Ericist. I have to tell you,
no!
I am the only one.
Monique, are you kidding? I come on your show. Are you fucking playing with me? I had to cuss your ass.
I'm muting him. I can't.
You don't like Eric the actor, Monique? He's the greatest whackpacker of all time, Monique. No, you never. In my presence, I will defend Eric the actor with my whole entire life. I would lay my life on the line for Eric.
He's so turgid, and I couldn't get through. He was always on when I was on my way to work. So when he would come on, that was the moment I knew that I could get on the train and be able to get to my office. And for sure, a half hour would be over and I'd be done with him.
Yeah, there was no 2-minute segment with Eric.
No 2 minutes.
No, it was going to be you were in for the long term.
Half hour, 45 minutes.
Am I the only one? I mean, Karl, do you not like Eric the actor?
I love Eric the actor.
Yeah.
He was one of my favorites. I even love Derek from Texas.
Derek, I love Derek.
Guys.
Love Derek, love the werewolves, love the alternate personality. But I feel like when Johnny Fratto got into everything, what happened to him? I feel like Johnny Fratto.
My webcam is being, or my Streamlabs is being.
It's
weird.
the heat from the fire behind you. That's what's happening.
No, sorry. Go ahead. I think it's fixed. Sorry.
No, I just think that I think when Johnny Fratto got into the picture, then everything just became shtick. And it just kind of ruined Eric for me.
Johnny Fratto was incredible. Are you kidding? KC was a Johnny Fratto. KC, tell us, what did Johnny Fratto do? Did he ever did he get you a bunch of pussy? Is that what he would do? Because I know that you were part of the Angels or whatever.
Wait, Johnny Fratto's a pussy magnet? Is that what we're saying right now?
No, but he had those calendar lines. He had every kind of gimmick and stuff. They had those motorcycle gimmicks. Weren't you a part of that motorcycle gimmick or something, KC?
Yeah, Alex. I mean, at the time, he had Beverly Hills Angels, right? And he had these little like lawnmower motors engines on like a mini bike, and he would bling them out and send them to Paris Hilton. That's where I met Paris Hilton up on his on the top on his penthouse, and he was unbelievable, man, because he could sell anything. It didn't matter if it was a piece of shit or if it was, he could sell what you don't need. He would sell it to you. And
Paris Hilton, cocaine whore or no?
Yes. I never saw her do that, but I wouldn't say that's not accurate.
I heard at one point she was one of the biggest drug dealers in all of Hollywood.
She never sold to me. I tried to steal it from her once, but I don't want to talk.
That's a shame. Unfortunately, you can't do those anymore because you might die of fentanyl.
Motorcycle. Monique, that was the most legendary thing. She wrecked one of Johnny Fratto's motorcycles on the red carpet. That's
with Nicole Richie, right? But that was set up, Alex. That was they
she meant to crash
to make her look like an asshole, yeah, because they as soon as she was going to press the throttle, it was going to get stuck there. So she was going to keep going. And it was really funny.
They rigged it up. up for
Yeah,
that.
they
That was
rigged
an
it.
inside job. Shut up, Casey.
Yeah.
This is legendary. This is huge. Wow. So they rigged up Paris Hilton's fake little lawnmower engine motorcycle gimmick to go super viral and embarrass her. She could have got hurt. I'm surprised they weren't worried about the liability, but I guess his dad was in the mafia. So
So what did he die of, Johnny Fratto? I don't even remember now.
Lung cancer.
Oh, right.
He used to smoke. Monique, I know you used to smoke back in the day, but
Who, me?
I thought you did. You smoked.
Never. Never even touched a cigarette in my
Get
entire
outta
life.
here.
No, never.
Oh, I
lame, gay. That's gay, Monique. Smoke something.
Can I just tell you why? Let me just tell you why. Because when I was like 12 years old, my sister was 16, and somebody calls my mother and says, "Norma, I saw Yvonne around the corner smoking a cigarette. You might want to go check that out." And my mother, prolific smoker, is like, "Really?"
Mine too.
Okay. Runs downstairs, grabs my sister by the hair, pulls her upstairs, proceeds to sit her at the kitchen table, and makes her smoke an entire pack of cigarettes, one after the other. Didn't let her brush her teeth, eat dinner, and went to sleep in the same clothes, and went to school in those clothes the next day.
I like
My
that.
sister never touched a cigarette again, and by virtue of me never wanting that to happen to me, I never touched a fucking cigarette, ever.
That's an
That
awesome
happened to
story.
me
love.
too. That happened to me too, but with meth. And I
Yeah.
have not
Yeah,
touched
I
it since then.
Never touched a meth.
I do my
Never
own
touched a
thing.
meth.
Hit this crack pipe all night full of meth. The Hunter Biden. That was Joe Biden.
I had
is his
strict
dad.
parents. I had very strict parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had two parents too. Like my old man caught me making out with a guy, so he brought the whole wrestling team over.
Okay, no,
I
let's
hate
get
when that
into it.
happens.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it. I'm
You're not
taking this
gonna
over
leave
real
this
quick.
until you.
No, Casey.
It's the gayest thing I've ever heard in my
Monique,
entire life.
Yeah, this is your show, Monique, but I have to say this because this is my conspiracy. I want to start off the show with the bangers if there are Stern fans watching this. I need to share this on my community page. I'll do it real quick, but hold on. Listen, let's be real. I'll be real. Ralph Cirillo
Gay.
and Howard are boyfriend and boyfriend. I mean, Casey, and listen, I go back and I listened just the other night. The way Howard would describe you. Oh, we got this guy with a six-pack. Oh, he's captain of his college football team. He's a wrestling champion. His dad's a coach. Like, they would fawn over you. He doesn't care about sports. Howard doesn't even know how many people are on a football field.
No.
You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, he's like, ooh, I like this football captain. And, like, Gary, I believe, is a totally straight man. But I'm saying, like, Gary's kind of, like, going with it only because Howard's, kind of leading it on. So, and then you see Ralph's relationship. So, give me the straight dope, dude.
Can I interrupt
Is
real quick before Casey answers this? You didn't bring up Cocktober.
Cocktober.
More
That's
evidence
saying.
that he's
Yeah,
probably
but
gay.
that's past. I'm just saying that's past KC. I'm saying, of course, that's the gayest thing
Just
ever.
wanted to put that out there.
Of course, Carl. Of course, But I'm saying they used to call him Gay C. Like they almost kind of groomed you, Casey. I'm serious. And you look back, they're kind of like grooming you. You're this guy fresh out of college in Manhattan at this big thing, and they're like making you get. Monique,
Because
don't
he's
give me
the
that.
only handsome boy on the entire staff. You've seen
Which
them,
is
a bunch
weird
of
that they're
fleshy,
hiring handsome
fleshy,
boys on the
whack-pack
staff.
manatees.
That's weird. They need hot pieces of ass. They're all supposed to be heterosexual men. Give me some hot interns, not like gay C that they want to gay. That they always want to make gay. It's kind of like, what? And then Howard's, I'm so straight, yet I wear a condom every time I have sex. A real straight man hates condoms. Condoms are the worst thing. A condom gives me nightmares, much less on Beth, your wife. I mean,
Casey
give me
won't
a
answer.
break.
No, I dude, I'll answer anything that you want, and I'm with you, man. Like, who wants to wear condoms, especially if you're married? So, yeah, I'm not married, and I told you, I never wear a condom. I'm not going to catch AIDS twice.
Casey, it's legal now. You can get married if you want to. It is
It's okay.
legal.
It's okay.
Okay, but tell us, is Howard secretly gay? Had he ever come on to you? What do you think?
All right, so I think you asked me before. You wanted a straight dope on Ralph. Is Ralph gay? Here's what I can tell you from my personal time with Ralph. When I first got there, me and Ralph went out, and there were two girls, and I guess I don't want to say anything that's not true, but I think he was on one of those. Mo, you'd know better than me, like ecstasy or something like that. When you go to the clubs and you
Yeah, he
wanna-
was dealing. He was dealing X at clubs.
Okay.
He got thrown out for dealing.
Shut up, Monique. Really? Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's a very
like,
gay kind of culture thing. Go ahead.
Yeah,
sorry,
but so he was into girls, but I got the feeling that he might have been. I would say if I could be 100% transparent and honest, I would say bisexual would be Ralph's.
Okay, I'm sorry, but once your asshole is punctured by a penis, that
No, this is
negates.
saying, Monique, you bake one cake. No, yeah. They're saying, you bake one cake, you're not a baker. You make one shoe, you're not a cobbler. But you suck one dick, you're.
That's nice.
You're gay. And
You're
that's
pretty
cool.
much gay.
That's cool. And it's cool to be gay. I don't want to be anti-gay. They call me homophobic or transphobic. I'm not. I think it's cool to be gay. I don't want kids to be sexualized, of course. I don't want them to be reading pornographic literature. But
right.
Yes,
I'm sure
exactly. I'm
See
trained.
what the trans community thinks here at University of North Texas. Let's go.
Never break,
Look at that.
never
Gay
quit.
C, you've never seen anything like that.
In your life, never change.
That's like high-pitched airy stuff, dude. I'm like Scott the Engineer right there.
Pick a lane, commit and climb.
Can I just tell you, I laughed so hard when I saw this. Yeah. Okay. There you go. There
I
you go.
love that. I love what you do, Alex. You have taken what Stuttering John did and what they asked us to do and stuff. You've taken it. You've moved it up a couple notches.
Yeah, but he does it himself. It's not like he has 20 writers behind him trying to give him stupid questions to ask people.
And he's got 12. Did you hear what he said to AOC?
Yeah, Big Booty Latina. But imagine this. My dream would be, and I become friends with, and I think Karl sometimes teases him, which is fine because Karl teases everybody, is Bubba the Love Sponge, is how that guy I call a friend. And he's so nice. He lets
Karl teases everyone? Oh, no.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, and Bubba's so nice, he lets Hulk Hogan bang his wife. So I'm saying that, and people joke about that. That's the type of nice guy. It doesn't get nicer than that, than a guy that'll let it bang his wife. But
And films it. It's very giving.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Now,
we
that
kinda,
might be gay, guys.
That might be a little bit. Bubba's probably gay for Hogan a little bit. I think
It's a little. It's a little Brentish, don't you think? I mean,
Yeah, it's a little cuck.
It's actually a great guy.
Little
Hey, I
cuckish.
want to say this right now. I don't know what's your relationship. I think Karl has made fun of Brent. I've watched content making fun of Brent. Brent is the nicest guy. One of the nicest guys. I'm telling you. Karl, have you ever talked to Brent?
Yeah, he's been on my show. I've had conversations with him on the phone. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying he's a very likable guy. I'm just surprised. I mean,
He's
I know
likable until he starts doing his show.
He's
That's the
likable.
problem.
He's likable until his wife starts fucking a guy with
That's what I'm
one
saying.
leg.
Yes, they have a very weird relationship.
Who
I'm
needs
not
a
going
step
to
stool to
defend
get on
his
the bed?
relationship, but I'm just saying the guy's a really nice guy. He's maybe probably too nice, and kind of like Bubba's same thing. They're a little too
In
nice.
a cuckish sort
And that's
of
a
way.
weird thing. I make a joke about it all the time. My wife's boyfriend. I think it's funny, but yeah, I would never want a guy to bang my wife. But that's just me. And if somebody likes that, I'm a libertarian in that mindset. I really don't even judge that. I mean, he's different strokes for different folks. They want to get laid. Good for them.
He's okay with his wife banging other guys.
Oh, babe, that's his whole thing.
Brent.
That's his whole reason to exist. She has a
and it was the
YouPorn,
best
not
content.
YouPorn. What
And
does she have?
hey.
OnlyFans.
And it's the only relevant content that Howard had. Howard lost his only good content, and then I mean, that was like the when Shuley kind of left at that same time. That was the last little pop of the show, in my opinion. That was I mean, it jumped the shark before that. It jumped the shark, I guess, when Artie left, in my personal opinion. But
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just saying that was the last. That stuff was great, Karl. You had to go back and listen to that, right, Karl? The Brent stuff. That was good stuff.
Shameful Shuley hate plug. There are still about 162 seats left for his appearance in Tampa, which I believe is this weekend. So run out and get your
who's
tickets.
featuring for Shuley at that show? Do you know?
Believe it's the Mallard. I have absolutely no idea.
Oh,
The
no,
meat company.
it's Chad Zumach. Chad Zumach is the feature act.
That'd be great.
I can't
would
believe the
love
tickets
to
aren't
go see
selling
Chad.
for that.
Karl, I'm trying to get Chad to come to Dallas with Kevin and all them. Kevin doesn't want to leave, but I'm saying I think Chad right now is hotter than ever. Is he a mess? Yeah, so that's why he's entertaining. It's like,
Yeah, I know,
He's
I
filled
get
the
it.
void. He's
I
filled
get
the
it.
void that Stuttering
Stuttering John
has
void.
left.
Of course. Of course.
I mean, Karl, you're just on that good show, Mike and David. I'd never heard him on that interview, and you were talking about it. There is kind of a void. We got to stop talking about it. And I didn't realize. So Stuttering John hadn't done a show since October.
He's done.
Correct. Yeah,
I believe he's
yeah.
done. I have it on sort of good authority that he is done. He did what he was supposed to do probably, 9 months ago, which is the attempt to starve people. But I saw this on your feed,
Yes.
Mr. Karl.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts here?
All right, so I have a guy who has some inside information on what John is up to. So I happen to know some things, and you can believe me or not, doesn't matter. But John is looking to buy a house in Florida, and he put an offer in, but there's some contingencies. He still hasn't completed the sale of the Canota Park apartment, Of course, that's in his mom's name. So it's looking like, this is what I know, because this idea that he's buying a 5-bedroom house in New Mexico doesn't make any sense. He's such a dumb liar.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. How did we extrapolate 5-bedroom out of this? Is there more to this?
If there's a previous tweet.
Oh, I'm blocked. I don't know anything. Okay.
Yeah, I'm blocked too, but people.
I think we're the only two.
I think we're the only two. Well. I'm blocked. I have a burner account. I sometimes go and check, but I'm just never on my burner. Yeah, but I don't know my burner. Yeah.
But
yeah, I refuse to follow him on the burner. I just can't.
According to what I know,
he's the only person I follow on my burner. I think.
So Mo, you might know about this. He's heading to a place called Punta Gorda.
Really?
I think that's nice. Punta Gorda or whatever. That sounds nice.
Yeah. Punta Gorda, that's slightly north of Fort Myers, but below Sarasota.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what the plan probably is. He has to be out of his place by June. He'll probably move in with his mom on Long Island for a little while until he gets his finances together. He is applying for jobs to teach in Florida.
But he can probably get one. These teachers are all transgender anyway. I mean, who cares? I mean, I'd rather have a drunk ass John. At least he probably won't hit. I mean, he might hit on him, but dude, let's just be real. John is, and I actually love John. I don't have as much, not that Karl has animosity for him, but I almost like when we hate watch these people, then I unironically like them. Does that make sense? It's weird. It's kind of like Mersh, or kind of like, because people do it to me, and then I'm like, these people that like psychoanalyze me, you're really a fan. Like, let's just be real. And so, Karl, let's be real. You're a fan of Stuttering John. Even though you make fun of him, he's a terrible guy. He's giving you so much entertainment. Your world is better, a world with Stuttering John in it, than without him.
Alex, if I hated watching his content, I'd hate my life. Because I've spent so many years now watching his content. I obviously enjoy it. Not
exactly
for the reasons he wants me to, but I do enjoy it.
Exactly right. You
love it.
The last letter he wrote to me, he says he has a great job and he's no longer on social media. So, I mean, this is from him. This wasn't a troll. This is something that he wrote. So I don't know if that plays into it. He says he has a great job and he doesn't do social media. So
he'll be able to easily find a teaching job in Florida. They are starving for teachers. You know, it's so funny. The last time I talked to him, which was right before that classic interview that I had with him it wouldn't answer anything. And, I said to him,
that won't do.
I said, so do you not want to talk about the teacher thing? He's like, no, I'm absolutely not going to talk about the teacher thing. And all of a sudden you hear him say, come on, kids, we got to go back inside. And I'm dying laughing. I'm just fucking dying. I'm like, you're watching the schoolyard right now? He's like, yeah. That's part of my job. And I'm like, shit, you know what? People would love that about you. It would actually show that you're kind of human if they knew that you were doing this, but he wouldn't do it. He just wouldn't do it. So
I got to tell you what I'm impressed by with this. I didn't think he could hold down a 9-to-5 job because he drinks so much. I mean, I'm not just making this up. He does it on the internet, or he was doing it on the internet for so long that I can't believe he gets up in the morning and goes to a job every day because school starts early. I'm shocked by that.
Well, don't forget isn't he a substitute teacher? Yeah. So he might have like a part-time. It might be a part-time thing.
Yeah, he has days off. But Karl, you know this. You drink. Sometimes when you're hungover, you wake up early.
Yeah, but he always drinks.
What I mean?
But he always drinks. It's different.
I know, he drinks every night. It's almost like a medication. But I just feel like you're kind of peeing a lot. He drinks a lot of beer.
Alex, so that's a good point. He starts drinking at like around 2:30, 3 o'clock. So yeah, you're right. He's in bed very early and up early. Good point.
Yeah,
he actually just passes out. He doesn't go to sleep.
Yeah, he's shit-faced by 8 p.m. He's in bed. I mean, he's got to wake up and pee 3 times in the night. So, I mean, he's up. And he's got to, I mean, come on, Stuttering John's so crazy. The what was it? The refrigerator repairman wouldn't even lay on his floor. That's all you need to know. I mean,
I try so hard. I try so hard not to talk about him. It takes all the strength I have.
I know.
You know that.
You don't like talking about.
One time I was on with Casey. We had finished doing the show. It was me, you, and Bon Jovial, right? And I played a voicemail that he had left for my husband, and both of them were like, "Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me?"
Unbelievable.
And it's one of those things that I just have no feeling to engage him anymore. Like, I just don't want to engage him. Unlike you, Mr. Alex Stein, who engages absolutely everybody. My biggest question for you is, how do you not get harmed? And I'm not joking. I'm not even being facetious. Everything you do with a smile, and everything you do is kind of ridiculous. And I get it. I fucking get you.
Not like him.
Well, you know what?
A lot of people don't.
And I'll just give you for argument's sake, which was this. if I farted into a mic after a week of consuming nothing but hot peppers, I'd still be more soothing than Alex Stein. So
I
this is
kinda
the
like
kind of shit
that.
I get. I know.
That's a creative diss. So I like her. I like that creative. And honestly, I hope they don't, have a bunch of hot peppers and get a hemorrhoid or something like that. So be very careful with your.
But how do you
derriere.
feel
But no,
about people? I was a little concerned for you in New York City.
Oh,
'Cause I know my
New York is
brethren.
Crazy. And listen, I'm going to speak at Berkeley, and then I'm supposed to go back to Penn State. And as a matter of fact, so I was talking to the Blaze about it, and they're actually like, you know what? We don't know if this Riley Gaines getting assaulted. It's like, obviously, they said I can do whatever I want. They didn't say don't speak, but they're kind of like, we're very worried for your safety at these events. We've invested in you. We don't want you to get, really for us, it doesn't help us if you get hurt at one of these events. And then, they theoretically, it's just, it doesn't benefit the Blaze if I get stabbed at one of these events, because I'm so sick in my head. I go, it would go so viral. It would go so viral. And they look at me and they go, you're Alex. No. And I'm just like, oh gosh. So they're really trying to protect me. But you're right. No, Monique, something bad is going to happen. It's only getting crazier. And this is the problem. I have nothing against trans people, but a lot of these people, whether you're on the right or left, I'm actually more in the middle than far right, as people say. But I'm saying these people are on a lot of different antidepressants. They're on Xanax. They're on these pills. So people are impulsive. I mean, we know people that have taken drugs or that are on antidepressants. You're kind of disconnected from reality. So yeah, the idea that somebody at one of these events could be a total whack job, and then now that I'm recognizable and they want to get some recognition or clout, yeah, could they attack me? It's very possible, and it's something that I'm worried about. But what else am I going to do, dog? We got to go viral. I mean, come on, pimp on a blimp. I mean, the helium's not free, the hydrogen's not free. We got to freaking, float this bitch somehow.
Do you ever wear anything protective? Like, do you protect yourself? Do you
He just said he hates condoms.
What?
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. Now, sometimes I'll wear a jock strap, just my old high school football job, but I just do that for luck. I've never washed it.
Do you
And it
bring
helps
people
keep
with
yeah.
you? Do
You must
bring...
have security, right?
My wife's boyfriend, Ontarius, yeah. He's about 300 pounds. He's from the Dominican Republic, and he's nobody to mess with. He has bigger breasts than you, Monique, and you're very voluptuous, I would say, in a very good way.
thank you.
Yeah, so...
Now, your wife's boyfriend, is he who you were apologizing to at the nappy-headed hose thing? Like, what happened with that whole thing?
that was Corey Borner, a young athlete that was paralyzed in high school during high school football practice here in DeSoto. A very nice young man, and they really didn't need to make me apologize. I just did that to be funny. Like I said, I got suspended because I asked Laura Trump if she does anal last night. Well, I said, Laura, I asked a past guest, I said, I'm a big Howard Stern fan, and your father-in-law would go on the show, and oftentimes he would ask people, if they did anal, and I said, I would never ask you that, but, it's a free speech platform. If you want to elaborate on what your thoughts are about it, please.
Which one is she married to? She married Eric?
Eric, and she's the one that's in good shape. She's awesome.
And do they have, 40 kids?
I think they got like 4 or 5. Yeah, I mean, good for them. Why not? I mean,
I will
don't have
tell
any-
you, one
everybody calls
time I
me
used to
gay.
live down the block from Trump, one of Trump Towers, like down by the UN, and they were living there at the time. And I'll never forget, I was walking my dogs, and I walked past them, and she's tall. She's a really tall girl. And she's pushing a stroller, and she's pregnant, and he has one of the kids in his, he's holding her by the hand. And, I never forget a face. I can see you once on the train like 10 years ago, and I still remember you. And I'm looking, I was like, that's Eric Trump. And he just turns to her at that moment, and he's like, how many fucking times do I have to tell you to shut the fuck up?
Who, Eric?
Yes!
I don't believe it. Shut up.
Why would I make that up?
Everybody makes up every story. Okay, you just prefaced by this is why I don't believe you, because you gave this long preference. I never forget a face, this and that. So you're telling me, and maybe I'm white knighting.
Always
for Laura because now I
confuse
consider her
Laura
friend.
with the other one that's divorced because I can't remember their names. So
Laura's not divorced. Been with Eric for 15 years.
No, I know. I understand that. What was the other
I
one's
don't
name?
think he has the. I think she's pretty powerful in that relation. Not that I'm just saying. I don't think Eric would cuss her out. I don't know that. I don't.
Oh,
think Eric would.
1,000%. But I am telling you that they lived in that building. I used to see them all the time.
Maybe do you think it was Don Jr.? Do you think it was Don Jr. or do you think it was Eric? Which one do
No,
you think it was?
I kind of think it was Eric because I recognized Don Jr.'s face a little bit more. And Derek Jeter lived in the building as well. He literally came walking in like 5 minutes after they did.
Well,
So
you know,
just,
hey,
just
listen,
saying.
all relationships have arguments. Yeah, what are we gonna do? I mean, this is rumored innuendo, though. This is all alleged.
It's absolutely. Listen. It's coming from me. So Mo knows where. Yeah, I'm part of the deep
Monique's
state.
never
That's
told a
exactly
lie.
right.
Monique's never told a lie, and she is working for the Obama campaign for Michelle. Do you think Michelle Obama is a boy, Casey?
I know that probably a few years ago we probably would have weighed in at the same weight class.
Joan Rivers said it. A very guest was on Howard's show.
And she never told a joke. So it must have
she
been
never
true.
told a joke. Hey, but listen to this. What was the deal too? Didn't Howard speak at Joan Rivers' funeral? Is that correct?
Yes. Melissa asked him to do that.
And he spoke at who else's funerals has he spoken at?
That's it. He got invited to Ed Bradley's funeral, but he wound up having to sit in the back, quote, with all the Schwarzes. So he wasn't really appreciative.
No,
of
he
the fact that
talked
wasn't
at
up in
Bradley's
front.
funeral. He talked about how dry Ed Bradley's vagina was, I believe.
That would be
That's what he said
Joan.
at Ed Bradley, the broadcaster. No, he didn't say that. He made
That
it
would be Joan.
off
That would
color.
be Joan.
That was the Joan Rivers.
I thought he brought.
good.
I thought he brought everyone.
I wouldn't be
back there to do
surprised.
that, the Caitlin Hatley yoga that we saw on RadioGunk. I thought that there was a place for that. Everyone brought their mats at the funeral, and Howard was leading that up.
Howard was begged by Melissa. And fun fact, Louis C.K. wrote most of his speech for the Joan Rivers
Did not know that.
thing. Yeah.
Wait, Louis C.K. wrote Howard's speech? Shut up! Another bombshell! Drop! Hit a drop, Karl! Hit a drop!
He helped him with the
Louis
speech, and that's why he
CK,
never talks
ghostwriting!
bad. That's why he never talks bad about Louis C.K. Never.
Interesting.
You've never heard him talk bad about these people. There's certain people that have helped him out with things, Matt Lauer, Louis C.K., etc., that he'll never speak badly about.
Who wrote
And he
the
hasn't.
Bon Jovi speech?
The Bon Jovi? Oh, I have no idea. It wasn't funny, so who knows?
It's probably him. Okay, yeah.
It
That's what I was
wasn't
thinking.
anything.
Casey, were you there during 9/11? Were you still working there on September 11th?
Yeah. Tom said that we could leave, so I was out the door in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
No,
you don't have to tell me twice.
You left. but Howard did that broadcast, stay there all day. There's a conspiracy that Howard's a part of the Illuminati and knew that it was going to happen and knew he was going to stay on the whole time. What about that?
Oh my God,
conspiracy?
that's the silliest thing I ever heard. And you know what? The only reason that he stayed on air was because he couldn't get anybody to drive him home. All traffic was shut down.
He
and
has
he
two
decided-
limousines, but okay. I'm not even saying that conspiracy is true, but he couldn't get home.
Did
Who
you hear the thing when I was on with Opie the other day? And I'm sure Kumia has talked about this as well, but I never knew this, that there's an actual elevator that his entire limo goes into.
Yeah, it goes up and down.
Takes him up to the floor in Sirius, to the floor.
Yeah.
Are you
it's a car elevator.
fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
And Opie said that he has 2 or 3 more of those lockdown videos that we have not seen. Just so
Wow,
you know.
I didn't know that, but at K-Rock, he had a special place that he would go through, and I had the code because I would wait for him, and Grillo did the same thing until he passed that job off to me. So you would type the code in and let him in the morning, and he would take the freight elevator up, so he wouldn't have to go in the regular elevators with everyone else. But now, if you tell me when you go to Sirius, he's got a place for his limousine, now we're talking some pretty neat stuff, and that's what
you get with $90 million a year, I guess. I don't know. That's what you get. So that's what we're going to review tonight. I can't even imagine that we're going to get to this.
So hold on a second. You were talking about him being in the Illuminati. Did you hear that from Hansy? See the one that told you that Howard
Exactly.
was
Yes,
in the Illuminati?
Hansy.
Because
Imran
Hansy,
Khan, listen,
Yes.
this, that, and mom.
Imran Khan.
This, that, and mom.
he was a fan of WATP years ago. He reached out to me a few times, and he was convinced that I was in the Illuminati.
You
He
are,
thinks-
Karl.
Well,
You are.
I didn't want to say it on the
You're
show.
lying.
Damn it.
You kind of.
I didn't want to say it on the show.
Yeah.
Did you ever interview
It's a
him?
draw. Illuminati draw. Yeah, did you ever get him on?
I would have loved to. I reached out to him. I tried to, and then he turned on me. I know,
Yeah,
shocking.
well, I had an hour
Fonzie.
15. I had an hour 15 with him
Nice.
where he did nothing but you can't even understand what he's talking about. Honestly, he is such a conspiracy theorist and so scared that everybody is after him.
He's a bit paranoid, that one. Yeah.
Just a snurch. Just a snurch. Is he still on social media?
Yeah, he's on Twitter.
Yeah, I stopped following him because he was a little bit too fucking loony. So,
Yeah.
okay, what we're attempting to do tonight, and I have it now condensed. So, thanks to Bon Jovial for cutting it down for
Bon
me
Jovial
to
rules, by the way.
its most important parts. What?
Bon Jovial rules.
Absolutely,
big
he
shout out
does.
to that man.
So yeah,
He's-
big shout out
he's
to Bon
amazing.
Jovial, who is producing KC's new show, which is KC Armstrong. So you should absolutely go and see what KC is doing. Not so surprisingly, KC with a little bit of tea on Stuttering John on a consistent basis. So,
Well,
I
I just got to get done with it. I got to get done with what he said. I mean, in the book, it put me down saying I'm the reason for the demise of the Howard Stern. So yeah, I'm going to get that out. And then
who's the reason?
Wait, who said that?
He said I am. He said that I'm Gary's butt boy, and
Yep.
since I started having guests that would elicit a response from the audience, it was a morning zoo type
Yeah,
stuff.
you made the show fake. You were the reason why the
Yeah.
show got fake.
Wait,
Yeah.
who said this? Stuttering
It's
John?
Stuttering
in
John.
John's book. We've been breaking down his book on my Patreon, and he has
That's
a
so
rule in his
funny.
book.
That's so great
We
show.
call
So
it.
that's why, because you went and did his stunts, because he was threatened by you. That's why.
So we
I
call
don't
it,
know.
the way he wrote his book was with the ABB method. Always be bashing. Every single person he brings up, whether it's Robin or Artie or anyone, Fred Norris, he just bashes everyone. It's like, dude, he's such an asshole. He's a raging
Did you
asshole.
not have any good relationships? You probably made a friend or two there. I mean, not everyone's horrible, right?
I
guess
feel like
not.
Not only
Grillo.
friends,
I think Grillo is his only friend right now from the show.
No.
He hates him
This-
too.
you go
He's
back
friends with
there.
Scott. He's friends with Scott the engineer.
His friend with Scott.
He wasn't
but
back then, though. That's the funny part. They hated
Yeah, I know
each
they
other.
hated each
Right.
other. They hated. Yeah.
Just
Wow.
wait a day. If he doesn't like you, or he does like you, just wait a day. There are no. Karl, you've always pointed this out. These are transactional relationships that John has, and they're never gonna end up good. You're always gonna be like, yeah, we used to work together. It doesn't last long.
No good.
But
comes
what's
from a
Fred Norris
relationship
like?
with him.
What's Fred Norris like? He's weird, right? He's the only guy that gives Howard crap back. You ever notice how Fred doesn't take any crap from Howard?
Fred occupies about 5 minutes worth of airspace on that show on any given day, maybe, if he's
Yeah.
lucky. If he's
But
working
he used to be
the
a pretty
Ronnie
big
puppet.
part.
Yeah, not so much anymore. I seriously feel like Fred doesn't even do drops anymore. He's just
That's because he doesn't like. They don't like each other. I don't think Fred's liked Howard for a long time. What do you think about that, Casey? Do you agree with
Rick
that?
Grillo's been a big proponent of this song on King Norris' first album, "You Were a Friend of Mine," and Grillo says that Fred wrote it about Howard, and it's bashing the friendship or whatever. But one thing I can tell you, because people ask me all the time, Win Fred's Money, that's absolutely real. That was not made up, wasn't staged or fixed like the Wheel of Sex was when I would try and stop it on whatever silly thing it was. That was fixed because I personally, they didn't tell me to do it, but I stopped it way too quickly on something retarded. But that Fred's Money, he's that smart when it comes to trivia, and he won all those.
Does Fred
Yeah,
have
but
Asperger's? Do you think he has do you think he slightly autistic or has
He's on the
Asperger's or
spectrum.
something?
Yeah.
Probably
sure.
something
Right?
weird about him. Yeah,
Something
I mean,
weird
well,
about
he
him.
changed his
Stuff nuts,
name
right?
from Fred to Eric, from Eric to Fred, and
His
didn't
last
even
name
make
is
sense.
changed to his last name is actually Nukas. It's Fred
He changed
Nukas.
his-
Really?
So
Yeah.
it's not
His
Norris.
last name is Nukas. He changed it to Norris. It was Nukis. His name was Fred Nukas.
But he changed it to Norris.
Changed it to Norris.
Every radio guy changes their last name, though. That's not
Yeah.
surprising
no
at
surprises
all.
there. No surprises
But it
there.
was. But it was weird though how he went from Fred to Eric or something. I remember there was a controversy about that for some reason. I think.
Yeah, I remember
mean,
that
but-
too, Alex. That was before my time. I remember what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah,
Eric
because he something about his checks or something. I don't know. Who knows? But I love Howard Stern. I mean, it's like now he sucks. But
Do you listen now?
Gosh, no. I mean, sometimes I watch the social media clips. But he used to make fun of podcasting, and now he does the same thing Karl does. He's just sitting like I do. I'm just saying he's sitting at his house. He thought he made fun of podcasters, and now he's literally doing the same exact thing that we're all doing.
Do you think with his absolute and psychotic fear of COVID that he will ever be back in the studio?
No, he's just going to stay there at convenience. He doesn't like people
Well,
anyway.
it's interesting because he had that doctor friend of his on the show a few weeks ago. I'm sure you heard that, Mo.
You mean the
his
one
friend
who
growing up?
No. He's
No.
talking about Dr. Agus, who
Dr.
actually
Agus.
was promoting a book about the things that we can learn about health from animals. And thanks to, AI, it was found that there were over 90 instances of him stealing from other people's books, and he had to
plagiarized.
pull it off the market
Yeah.
before.
It's mostly from
This book-
Wikipedia.
Howard let this guy plug a crappy stolen plagiarized book.
No.
Shut up.
Howard
No.
used to fly to LA to get his blood work done by him because that's his primary physician. That's his primary physician.
But
Dr.
Dr.
Agus.
Dr. Agus was talking to him about how Howard, everyone's living their lives now and everyone's doing this thing. And Howard even said, he's like, I'm like Howard Hughes. I got to stop doing this. It seemed like he came to an epiphany, like he realized that but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
His
Yeah, but
daughter,
he says that he's always said, "Oh, I'm going to do this," and never does it. I mean,
He's
just-
never leaving
he
that
acts
house.
like he's not rich.
You're right.
Dude, what pissed me off? He's always like, "Oh, Gary, let's make a $75 bet. Oh, let's make a $100 bet. I'm Howard Stern. Oh, Robin. Oh, we're making a $200 bet." It's like, shut the fuck up, Howard. $200 is nothing. You're not normal.
he's not normal.
Real quick, I want to get a plug as we're talking about it. So I just put a video up on YouTube today. We reviewed Howard talking to Reggie Jackson, and it is insane. Howard's trying to get Reggie Jackson to cry. The guy is Hall of Fame MVP, 5-time World Series champion, who's lived the best life possible. And Howard's like, yeah, but your parents got divorced. Isn't that upsetting? Like,
No, was he a little?
It's
Was he a little
68 years
arrogant?
ago.
I watched what Mo put out. And did he look a little arrogant to you? Like Artie was,
You talking
doing
about Reggie?
really nice, saying no, about Reggie Jackson, saying something really nice about like all the stats he knew, and Reggie was like upset that Artie didn't get them correctly. I mean, how much?
You know what? All amazingly famous sports people are dicks. They just are. They just are.
Yeah, usually
they're
are,
all
yeah.
know-it-alls. They're all absolute dick faces. I was telling the story about how I met OJ once because he was at like a fundraiser
What?
before the unaliving. And
Was he? Do you think he was attracted to you because you're very voluptuous? Do you think that's why he naturally?
no,
found
I
your attention?
was a kid, but the only thing I remember about him is that his head is 2 times the size of a normal human being. It's like it's the biggest head.
hands. The
Big
glove don't
hands,
fit,
big
you must have
head.
quit.
And right. Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can fit this into the glove. And he was just very super sweet, but very much the know-it-all. Like they were superstars. They still are. Those are the absolute ultimate superstars in our lifetimes.
People
really are.
probably told them that you know everything, blah blah blah. But turns out that back then, those helmets were nothing more than like a water bottle with some kind of covering over it. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like you got any brain damage from playing football, Casey?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
did you get any
Casey
brain
wrestled.
damage, Casey?
Do I have what?
Yeah, but do you have brain damage, Casey?
No. Hey, guys, let me.
Wait,
I go
you
to ask
asked me
Casey
again,
this.
yeah.
No,
I'm
Casey,
sungowning right now.
Casey,
Alex,
it's
I
so
have a
funny.
question.
Oh no, I have to ask this question first. So listen, I
brain
just started
damage?
yelling about Howard making about $200 on bets and how it's like, oh, that's nothing to him. But then it made me remind me of KC on an online gambling thing, won a straight flush, and you were up what, a 200K or something. Tell this story.
330, Alex, and none of that is BS. I was playing the maximum.
People have said that was a lie. I've heard.
Carl,
You made that up.
I'm telling you, man to man here, that is not a lie. I was playing the maximum, playing $100 each time, and let it ride. It's like 3-card poker. But once you get dealt a card, you can take 100 back. So I got dealt the first 3 you get, they're down, and I got the 10 of diamonds, the jack of diamonds, and the queen of diamonds. So of course I'm going to stay in because I got a straight. So I'm going to get that. So I stay in, and I'm playing the maximum. And then they pull over the king of diamonds, right? So am I not going to just stay in to see what happens? They pull the card. It's the ace of diamonds, and I see the counter on the bottom right, and it's going crazy. The numbers can't go fast enough, and it stops at $330,000. I called in sick the next day. I didn't tell anybody until a day or 2 later, and much to what a complete nincompoop and how much I hate myself, and I have no respect for money. I lost all of it.
Yeah, money you get for free, you don't respect it. Because I haven't lost that much gambling, but I've lost a few thousand. It makes you sick. But I'm saying, it's so fake on that. What were you doing it on? That was the early days of online gambling. So what was it, like some like Bahamas place, and you were just doing it on your laptop, or what? What were you gambling on?
It was Golden Palace, and I was playing, around 8 or 9 at night, getting ready for bed.
Golden Palace. See, that was a legit online casino back then. I mean, wow. So how many
tattoo people on their backs like Butterbean?
Yeah.
And they had Golden Palace and stuff. But I swear to everybody that that was as depressing and as wrong and disgusting and horrific. That is all real.
How long did it take for you to go through that money?
About a month.
Ugh.
We would go out. I'd have a comedy gig on Friday, and some of my friends would come over and we'd be ready to go. And I'd be in the shower, and I'm like, "Hey, just do what you want, play whatever you want." And I come out, "Hey, Case, I just won you a Ferrari."
Casey, tell them about the time with us sitting in the bar.
Oh, that was great.
That was the best.
Monique Lucky. You guys have, let's see, New York. So, Karl, you have it. And you're in Jersey, right, Alex?
Texas, Dallas, Texas.
Oh, you're in Texas. All right. When you go to the bar, do you have Quick Draw or Keno or something like that?
No, but I've seen those. I've been to a bunch of bars. Yeah, I've seen the Keno. Yeah, the thing, the bar. Yeah, the gambling, the video poker or whatever. Yeah, I've seen it.
So Mo came out to see me, and we're getting something to eat at the local bar. And I said, Mo, pick 2 numbers. I'm going to pick 2 numbers, and we put them in. All 4 of them came out. I think we won about $900. And we,
wow.
Hey, guess what? Lunch is on New York State. So,
and of course, classic KC is like, let's do it again. I'm like, no, I'm taking this money and I'm taking it
This is
home.
how it works. With gambling, the casino doesn't look at it as a loss. They just look at it as a loan, because the worst thing you can do is win, because you're always like, oh, I can win again. I can win again. I've done it before. And I can do it again.
Happy to walk away. Happy to walk away. I've never once gambled more than a couple $100. I can't even imagine. Was it better to have a pair of Gucci loafers that will last you, a practical lifetime? Or just give money to a casino.
Thanks to Quick Draw.
StubHub. I don't get the attraction of it. But you know what? Addictive personalities will have addictions, and if that's the worst of it for you, so be it. Yeah. Currently. Yeah. All right, let's get to the case at hand, because I feel like this was a fun little preamble that went on for 45 minutes. But okay, Alex, have you ever reviewed the Pelican brief?
I mean, is this the one where the leaked footage? I mean, I'm a Howard Stern nut. What's the, or is this when Artie said you look like a pelican and with the bro?
No, this is the leaked footage. This is.
Oh yeah, I've seen this. Yeah, where they say it was Shuley, but then Shuley just swears that it wasn't him. I don't think it was Shuley, but
it's definitely not Shuley.
It wasn't Shuley.
Yeah.
It wasn't Shuley.
Yeah, I didn't think that. I was just saying he was the one accused of it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
It wasn't Shuley.
By
However,
John. He's the one who.
Oh, is that the one who created that narrative? I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So you know what? It's actually.
Yes, I've seen this. Yeah.
It's actually not really known who released the Pelican brief, and I think whoever did release it wants to keep it that way. But I'm pretty sure they'll come out with it at some point in the future.
Hey, once again, I feel like this is why Karl's audience never really likes me either. It's like, when I watch this Pelican brief, I like, like everybody wants this, like, whatever, Jocktober it or whatever. The idea that he wants people to dress a little nicer, and he's trying to compare himself to the Tonight Show and these top shows. It's not that crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but maybe he wants to have a successful show, and so you have to have awkward meetings with
How
employees,
was it not a successful show before this? It was the
he
most successful
show. He wanted
show.
more A-list celebrities. And that was the whole point of this.
That's what it's about.
Alex, you're right. He goes on other people's shows. He sees how they treat the guests. And he goes, we're not doing what they're doing. And I get it. They're in obscurity.
We're not dressing like they dress. We don't do it like they do it. But the funniest part about this whole thing, which it's
the PowerPoint presentation, which is
the
terrible.
PowerPoint presentation.
It's awkward, guys. And we know Marcy Turk sucks. All these people suck. But it's like, and I want to dunk on it. We'll make fun of it. It's very awkward. But it's like, okay, the guy's trying to micromanage his show. His show's tanking. It's not doing as well. He doesn't have the same national.
How do you know it's tanking? How do you know it's tanking when nobody tells you what the numbers are at Sirius? They don't know.
He can get the numbers. He
No,
can get the
I just
numbers.
asked Opie the other day. He's like, we never had an idea. They never tell you the numbers.
Alex,
ever.
they don't know because
They
there's
won't
no
tell
way
me
to
the numbers
track.
of the Blaze
Isn't it
on
Armstrong?
on the Blaze platform. They will not give me the numbers. They're like, you did well on this one. We'll not tell you what the numbers are. I'm like, okay, well, whatever.
Right.
But-
So how do you
but,
know? How do you track it? How do you know?
I don't know. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So maybe he doesn't know the numbers. He doesn't know the numbers. But guys, numbers, schmumbers, you kind of know from social media. I don't know if he's on that. You can almost kind of get a feel too on how hot or not you are. I don't care what you say, Monique. Not that I'm a celebrity, but like you can tell how relevant you are by how he's talked about in the media, whether he has to create fake press or not. And I think that's why he did the AGT, why he jumped the shark, because he wanted to be so mainstream. So I think that's like when he tried to become mainstream is when he sucks. That's when he became, unwatchable.
I go if you go to the younger generation and you ask who are these podcasts, you ask RadioGunk and you ask who Alex Stein is. I believe that you might have a little bit of competition against Howard.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Howard's not as relevant anymore. Like the young kids. Yeah. But Howard Stern was the biggest and the baddest. So I'm just saying the E days, guys. Yeah, I mean that E show was the best, and that was another thing when he went to Howard TV. That was another terrible move. I mean, when he was on the E show, guys, there was no better show in the history of probably television than that old E show with a Benji wearing the daishiki. I mean, it didn't even need to be that crazy, but it was just little stuff like that nobody was doing. So unique is what made it so special.
I'm going to play you something. I'm going to play you guys something that encapsulates. So, Karl, do you listen to the show right now? Howard Stern show?
Only every now and again, I have a friend who listens and tells me what to check
What's
out.
going on? All right, Casey, do you listen to the show?
No.
Alex,
Just,
you
just
listen
when
to
your
the
show comes on.
I watch their clips on Instagram and stuff, but I don't watch the show.
This is going to give you what the show is now. And this is all, and what I'm going to play for you is within about an hour's worth of a 3-hour show. Okay?
Hey, hold on a second, Robin. I'll be right back with you.
Okay.
Oh, it's Joe Pesci. How you doing, Joe?
How we doing? You're talking about getting laid.
Hang on.
Yeah, right.
Baby, when I say age appropriate, what is age appropriate as by the way?
Yeah, your mom's what, 69? What's age appropriate?
68. I'm 68 till April 13th.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Oh, hey, it's Joe Pesci. What's up?
Oh, hey,
How we
man.
doing? Hey,
Hang on.
Voice, Howard. He does have a sexy voice. He feels like maybe too much of a bad boy. I don't, Okay, what? Hello?
Oh, hold
Yes?
on a second. Oh, it's Joe Pesci again. What's up, Joe?
hey, I just want to clarify that.
Hold on a second.
who's that?
Is this some
Sam's
kind of
mom.
loop, Monique? Am I hearing
Sam's
the same thing
mom
over
is
and over?
really generating a lot of
No.
action here. Oh, hey, everybody, it's Mel Gibson, the famous movie star. How are you? I'm real interested in Sam's mom.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, my
Bit
God.
from the show.
It's
What are we listening
Steve
to,
Martin,
Monique? What
the
is this?
This is what he does now. This is his show. This is the show, my friends. Knock knocks with horrible impersonators. I would say, sometimes he'll have Trump and that'll go on for about a half hour. But this is within an hour. This is all within an hour. And there's like 6 more in that clip. But yeah, that's the show. That's what you get.
That was the worst Mel Gibson I've ever heard.
That was
bad. He's still going after Mel Gibson. I mean, what? I mean, oh my god.
I was going to explain that Mel Gibson was a famous actor. Oh,
Famous
that
actor.
Mel Gibson. Okay, good. Okay, got
Famous
it.
actor Michael Caine. I mean, he always comes. It's like, who under the age of 40 knows who any of these people are? Anyone.
Is that what he's going for though, Mo? Is that what he's? Is it just geared for like the A list so he could do his interviews? Is that a premeditated thing? I mean, he just give up on what got him there. Is that what he's doing?
I think when you're so far removed from humankind, just in terms of, living in your basement, fear of COVID, fear of coming out, fear of doing anything anymore, and you're making $90 million a year, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I mean, honestly, and that's what he does. And so and nobody got fired in the layoffs that Sirius just did. And he still has 70 human beings working for him for a show that is on 9 hours a week. And he's off for the whole summer.
But Gosh, I forgot my. What question I was going to even ask? Oh, do you think he watches any content? What would do you think Howard Stern consumes?
Yeah,
like,
The
I know you used to say he
Bachelor.
watched The Bachelor. I know that's what he used to say he watches. But do you think he watches like anything? I mean, because he used to make fun of Joe Rogan, and now Joe Rogan's 10 times as big as Howard. Do you think he listens to Joe Rogan ever or any other content? No.
I think he's like he's like the emperor's new clothes. He has people. He surrounds himself with people that will tell him anything he needs to hear or wants to hear. And so in his mind, he's just as relevant as he ever was. Period.
Oh, wow. I would never pick Howard to have senioritis, if you know what I mean.
I mean, a bunch of 70-year-olds talking about what their thoughts are on, you porn is not something I need to know. There's no part of it I need to know.
And it's like, why does he still talk about the jacking off? And I think that is kind of funny too. But it's like, he's always talking about stepsister porn or whatever. I mean, it is kind of weird. It is a little cringe. I know he's doing that to be edgy, like burping and stuff. But it's like, if he wants to be mainstream, it's kind of weird that he still kind of wants to put his foot in that. And that's all he can do is Cocktober and talking about jacking off.
It's all he's got.
Yeah, Alex, but it has been said, and it's so true that 15 years ago, what's attractive about a guy in his 60s throwing baloney at a girl's ass, or
Lord of the Anal Ring Toss is the best thing ever. Oh my gosh, they need to continue to do that.
Party the Lord.
Yes, dude, tossing rings on a whore's dildo stuffed anus. Oh my gosh, that's good ass radio. That's
all right.
Good ass.
I'm being asked if this is going to be tomorrow's cringe of the week on Who Are These Podcasts. So I'm gonna get and we could do this all night. I swear to God, but no.
By the way, Alex, you have a show now on the Blaze.
God.
Do you guys do Lord of the Anal Ring Toss on there?
I'm trying to.
I'll come
trying
on.
to get, that's what I'm saying. I'll have you on, Karl. I'm trying to. We actually have the Love Blimp. We just had Mersh and Royce. We did a huge dating segment, and so we're gonna have a whole dating episode. So yeah, we're doing a bunch of crazy stuff. But yes, the Lord of the Anal Ring Toss, hopefully soon. And if we can't actually stick it in a human, maybe it can be like a fake anus. Maybe we'll get like a real doll. But yeah, I think I do need to incorporate some anal
Carl,
ring
how
tossing.
dare you ask a fucking question when I'm
We were
just
so
about.
close. We were so close. I'm sorry.
Alex, I'll put a guy in a double grapevine and wear one of those Roman hats, and they could use me for that. I'm just saying.
You're down to do it? Okay, Casey,
I'm so
I'll hire
sorry.
you. I'll fly you
I
out.
hate you.
No, I'm serious. I'll get your contact.
every
If you're
fiber of
down,
your
we
being,
got to
Carl.
do it. Howard would have to play that. He would have to show that. Look at Casey's up to.
Here we go.
When's the last time you talked to him, Casey? When's the last time they had you and called you?
This is like when Bon Jovial came in and tried to pull a bit, and it's awesome. But Alex, I didn't talk. Last time I talked to him was when I sent him a Lou Reed song that he liked, and that was about 10 or 15 years ago.
Oh, wow.
After his 50th birthday, I never spoke to him again. We're not on bad
Carl,
terms.
I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
Just never did it.
All right, here
I
we
don't
go.
think he didn't talk that bad about you, Casey. I don't feel like he ever really talked that bad about you, honestly.
I like him.
Take this conversation offline, boys.
All right, there's the gremlin. There's the gremlin getting ready to do his.
Where's Marcy?
That's
Where's
Jeff
Marcy
Schick.
Turk?
So Marcy
before
at
Marcy
this
was there.
point had just been hired, but she was new to the entire organization. And don't forget, she is she works for 112 Productions. She doesn't work for Sirius. So he hired her
welcome
on.
to the summit,
That's his
Revolution
personal
2013.
This 1,000% he did himself. I refuse to believe anybody helped him with it. Here we go.
And I love how he took the BLM fist and stuff. That's
Exactly.
he's just so uncreative. I mean, I hate to say that to Howard Stern, who's done so many creative things, but that fist is not very creative.
How does he not use his own Sirius XM fist? Like, how does
Yeah,
he? And by the way,
point.
we actually went through to see if we could find this clip art, and usually, whatever it was, it's the first one that pops up. It's like the very first. There's no
Where
review.
we're going and how we're getting there. The reason for this is simple. Trying to increase communication, making sure everybody's on the same page. I think for the most part, this whole summit came about because, as many people have
Fine
said to me,
camera work.
Howard, we work hard. We want to get somewhere. We want to do the right thing. How do we get there? We want to know what you're thinking. So today I will attempt to tell you what I'm thinking.
I'm sorry,
The reason
can you
I
pause it
asked
real
you to bring a
quick?
piece of paper.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what he's saying there, he's misinterpreting what people are asking him. Because what they're saying is, Howard, we see you just sign this contract and you're making $100 million a year. I make $34,000 and I live in Manhattan with 7 roommates. Is there a chance I could, maybe get a promotion or a raise at some point? Like, that's the question. And he's going, people can come to me and ask me, like, what's my role here? So here's what we're going to do. It's like, no, that's not what they're wondering at all.
Classic Tim Sabian thing that he said one time on the show was that when they first got to Sirius, and they all got these huge sign-on bonuses and shit like that, the top tier of people. And he said, Howard, it would really go a long way if you just took, a couple $100,000, whatever, and gave all your guys who came here with you a bonus. He's like, I don't know if I can do that. And that was it.
Brutal.
So that's who you got. That's who you got.
The pen is I want you to take notes on how you can.
All right, we're going to take notes. Present first, then questions at finish. No phones or iPads. Take notes on how you want to contribute. I will give you tasks during. Be prepared. Enjoy and get excited for the new vision.
And one thing, he forgot to take a space after the and sign on the guidelines, and let's not forget too, throughout Howard's career, everybody always said, "Oh, Howard, why don't you do stand up or why don't you publicly speak?"
He can't.
And you can tell Howard never liked to publicly speak like this. So that is now I'm white knighting for Howard. I love how Carl's like, Howard didn't pay his employees, which he did, and now I'm like, well, let's give him a break. He's never been a stand up comic. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but this is why on so many times where he'd be on like Leno or whatever, it would be a shtick. He would dress as a woman. He would jump on top of the person.
Because stand-up comedy's hard. You get out of breath. You can tell he's out of breath. It's hard because you have all these ideas and you're trying to keep a train of thought while creating new trains of thought.
You absolutely cannot keep a train of thought.
That's what I'm saying. It's very hard, and I'm sure Howard's very similar in that. It's hard to keep an extemporaneous thought for an hour long while people are staring at you. It's very difficult. People underestimate, I think, how challenging it really is.
Well, the whole thing is really challenging. I mean, Karl knows this. I know this. Casey knows this. You know this. It's hard to continuously talk for like an hour, 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours. I mean, and
I'm
you
tired
just
right now.
You're exhausting me. I know.
And contribute. Because what I've attempted to do today is to really spell out what it is we're trying to do in 2013, but more importantly, what's the structure behind it, and after the structure, who's accountable for what and who's going to be doing what. I'm going to ask you to write down some tasks that I'm going to ask you to do. And so you have a record of them.
By the way, none of this came to fruition. Everything he's talking about, none of it came to fruition.
So really enjoy and get excited for the new vision. We need some sort of new vision for 2013, and it's really important. All right, this is a picture.
That's his desk. So this is a picture of his office in his house in the Hamptons, and this is how he works. So this is his stream of consciousness.
It looks like when I get angry, I want to kill people and I put their names up. And
this is the most stressful thing you can see, is that your boss is going home and stewing about work all night and scribbling notes all over the walls. You're like, oh shit, this is not good. When I go home, I want to watch the football game and maybe get together with my buddy.
Zero thoughts about work. 0.0 thoughts about work. But this is apparently how he used to operate.
These
and
are
this
like
is
tax returns, though. They're like,
and this is Howard Hughes. This is Howard Hughes. He's been Howard Hughes before this. I mean, this is literally what I would imagine Howard Hughes was like.
And there's no lights on in this house. Like this is so dark. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and spotlights on. 7 lights on in this coven that he calls an office space. But yeah, so he wants you to see the creative magic.
Picture of my office.
Go, babe.
Well, I was just going to say, and another thing about Howard is he used to always make fun of people. He made fun of Jackie for his cat dying, like just bashed him, and then now he loves cats, which I was kind of like that. I used to not love cats, but it just kind of shows you how Howard can, he doesn't even know what he likes. You know what I mean?
It's so true. You almost want to see the CSI red string connecting everything that's on
I'm a nut. I'm a stern nut. I've psychoanalyzed this guy my whole life. I mean, since I remember the E! Show is literally the first shows I was watching, Monique. I wasn't. A lot of people are like, oh, I love Superman. I love comic books, all that stuff. I didn't watch any comic books. I don't really like any Marvel stuff. I watched Howard. I listened to it with my mom on the way to school, first grade. That's how much I like Howard.
Okay, and by the way, I just want you to know that I realize that you and I share the same birthday, so I like you even more.
October 8th?
At home.
Yes.
This is how I prepared for this summit. Literally about a month ago, or maybe 2 months ago, I said I am burning up with all kinds of things that bother me, that really fuck me up in the head about what we're doing. And so what I did was I took one of these giant Post-it pads that sit on an easel, and I began to write down what I thought needed to be done the way I do business, the way we run the radio channels, the way we run the television stuff, and it's actually quite cathartic, and it's really energizing, and I suggest you do it yourself. I have never rested on my laurels.
Who edited this?
I've always felt this show was very...
Bon Jovial edited it. It was 52 minutes long.
Yeah, just to make it shorter. Yeah, I get it. Okay, good.
Yes,
good.
yes, yes.
very, very important. And so doing this was sort of the birth of what you're going to see on the screen today. I want to enhance everything we do.
All right, so he is in the Illuminati. All right, it's confirmed.
Yeah, see? The pyramid?
Yeah,
desired
confirmed.
outcome. Or he's a Scientologist. They're always about climbing bridges and going
Pansy
clear
was
and
right.
getting on top and said yes. Keep going.
Pansy's
Let's see
always
what-
been
let's
right.
see. I want to see what enhance everything we do. I mean, what is that? I would like to vaguely. That sounds kind of vague.
I'm with you,
that
Howard.
Sounds vague.
Everything we touch, I think, needs polishing. What my job here is today is to communicate exactly what I want and give you the structure that you need to do it. And you know what? I am guilty of this. People come to me and say, Howard, yeah, I kind of get what you want to do. I kind of understand it. That's why I started writing all this stuff on my wall, because maybe I'm not communicating that. And this should be very clear today. So that's the desired outcome of today's meeting.
This is my favorite,
why
of course.
I wrote this childlike drawing of a triangle.
Yes. No, it's the pyramid with like a satellite on top of it because he was trying to communicate out to the masses.
That
But
everyone's going to work that hard together and building.
this is our most favorite thing in the world. We will change by using clarity, systems, structure, and accountability.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You can't. Everything's misspelled. You would think he loves all these efficiency experts. He likes the finest things in life. Why didn't he get somebody to proofread this thing? I mean, this doesn't even make sense. Like
None of it makes sense.
This is very low budget for Howard so far.
When does he get into balloon animals?
And we're going to come up with systems so people know where they belong in the organization. We're going to have structure. Every project we choose will have a definite structure behind it, and there'll be accountability, which I think is...
He probably doesn't even realize it's spelled incorrectly. Like,
No,
seriously.
he's pissing his pants right now. Howard is scared right now, more so than he's ever been talking. I can just tell he does not have the charisma he normally has.
No, he does not.
probably the most important thing I want to get across today. In the next couple of weeks, there'll be accountability. If somebody says they're going to do something, well, we're going to have metrics and we're going to measure it and make sure that they actually do it. So here's my vision. Let's go into the area of guests first.
B-listers. That's great.
Well, we're going to have metrics and we're going to measure it and make sure that they actually do it.
My vision.
That's the worst clip art.
I thought he's good at art. I thought he was
Yeah, he didn't paint that one, that's for sure.
A guy with binoculars looking over the Alps.
I guess this was his early work.
Oh, I can show you
Early
his early
stage.
work. There's no fucking way he's drawing those things, by the way. There's just no way.
Yeah, this is
So
just
here's
clip
my
art.
vision.
Crap.
Let's go into the area of guests first. This is it for 2013. I want weekly an A-list celebrity on our show, and 2 times a week I want a B-list celebrity. We're on 3 days a week. We actually do 112 shows a year.
By the way, that's down to 95, just so you know.
This is a very realistic goal, but how are we going to get there? Let's remind ourselves who
35
we are.
A-list goals is realistic, to be fair. They should be able to get
It
35
never
marquee.
happened. Let's look at this. The new marketing, and he uses a picture that has Howard, Robin, Jackie, Fred, Gary, and we believe that to be Stuttering John. Like,
Why is the second one Robin?
what?
That's
like, why
Robin.
is next to Howard and Robin?
Robin,
Why?
That's Fred in the bidet or whatever the hat's called. What is that
Jackie,
called?
Fred, Gary,
Whatever.
Stuttering John. That's who these people are. This is what he picks for the new marketing creation that they're going to be doing. Think about that.
It looks like one of those Beetlejuice characters.
It's frightening. Our show is the #1 place to be a guest.
It looks like
Our
art from the
show
70s.
It's actually not, because you're going to ask them if they had anal. You're going to ask them the same thing. You're going to try to bring up, like, when their mom died. You're going to bring up the worst part. It's not the number one place to be a guest. You want to go on the Jay Leno show because it's 5 minutes and you're in and out. You got to sit there for an hour and a half and have Gary Delabate and another guy in the camera room, in the green room, being like, hey, are you so excited to be on the Howard Stern show? You're like,
Alex,
that's
I don't know if you saw this. He had Kiss on his show recently.
Yes.
Gene Simmons is the worst.
He psychoanalyzed. No, Gene Simmons was great. Howard was the problem. He psychoanalyzed Gene Simmons.
He was good on Gene.
Gene Simmons is no longer just like pitching all the time. He's not trying to sell shit all the time. He's actually talking.
He's
to
over
a
it.
person.
Exactly.
Yeah, I used to like his reality show a little, but I'm just saying, he's kind of a hard guest sometimes.
Well, no, but Howard's psychoanalyzing Gene Simmons, the most successful rock star of all time, probably, when it comes to money.
Promotion.
And they're all in their
Marketing,
full Kiss garb, the entire band, and he's sitting there talking to him about therapy for 45 minutes. That's not a good place to be a guest. That's the worst place to be a guest.
And all
Just
of
play
these
Detroit
things,
Rock City.
all of these are done via like a Zoom call. They're all Zoom calls.
Kiss was playing on the show, Karl?
Yes!
Oh,
Yes!
shit!
They sat there for an hour and a half.
Oh,
Fully
wow,
dressed.
I didn't realize it. See, I didn't
Fully
even
dressed.
see that. I can't believe I didn't see that on the social media. Wow,
It's
that's
worth
a big
checking
deal.
out.
And why are these
Yeah, I gotta
icons like one guy has a mustache above his nose, and then you got a butt plug back here, and you got like,
well, the butt plug is Stuttering John, as you know.
oh, okay, all right, that makes sense. Okay, thank
But
you.
the fact that he would pull such old artwork in 2012 is like
the
shocking
number
to us.
one place for a guest. And think about this. What is it our show has?
Let's see. 23 million subscribers. Deep into interview. Plug, space, book, movie, CD many times. Reach wealthy audience. Celebs, best interview I ever had. Albums go to number one. Books go to bestsellers. And now he's going to talk us through this.
23 million paid subscribers. Who the fuck else has that?
Who the fuck has that?
Well, if you
We
buy
have
They're all
people
free
who
from
pay
people
to
buy
hear
cars.
a radio
but okay.
show.
Right. See, that's the whole thing. Half of all of these, they're called ghost subscribers. I looked into it one day. And basically what it is that they can include them as subscribers into the but
They got
don't
the free month trial at
exactly.
Car, yeah.
Exactly. And
Even
so
if they
many
don't
people
pay for it, and they get rid of it.
and they are considered subscribers. But even when you sell that old car and Sirius comes up again, they will re-up the subscription for a month.
I actually resubscribed because I could listen to Glenn Beck because now I work for him, so I actually like listen to that. I'm not trying to name drop, but it's funny and it just sucks. It's
Alex,
the crappiest app.
You're too young to remember this, but back when people used to have magazine subscriptions, I remember you would cancel your magazine subscription. It would just keep coming to your house
Just
anyway.
kept coming.
Because they're like, they just want an audience. They just want to sell advertising.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
if you're
wow.
paying
yeah,
or
yeah.
not.
It's
Absolutely
not like
just
that
kept coming.
We had
DMG
Jewel
thing.
on.
What?
Yeah,
It's
right.
not like that DMG thing. Jackie was the king of this. He would just write back. They'd send you a bunch of CDs way back in the 80s. He would write back
for a
as his
penny.
name, I am not paying.
Yep.
You know, one of those things.
Today. We go deep into an interview. The woman
Of course,
had
Jackie
an hour.
stealing
We
CDs.
plugged her new album several times, at least 10 times that I counted. We talked about her life. We had her play, we did a bit with her. We played a song that I wrote. The audience loved it. I know that. I'm judging it from Twitter, the email. She reached paid subscribers, people who actually have money in their pocket.
Time out real quick, Mo. I want to ask you about this because I think you probably know better than anyone. When Howard says they got positive feedback from the email, that's all being curated by Fred and the team, right? Okay.
1,000%.
He's not actually seeing the shitty emails that come in. They never show that stuff.
First
to
off,
him.
who emails anymore? Who?
That's what I'm
who
saying.
would
They get
take the
3
time?
emails a month or something, probably.
Yeah, I mean, back
give me a
this was
break.
10 years ago, so maybe there's
Yeah,
I'll cut him a little
they
slack.
were
I will
young,
cut him a little slack, but he doesn't. His Twitter account is almost set to private. Like you can only answer if he includes you in the
on
the tweet.
Howard's tweets. Oh yeah, I
Yes,
think
Stern Show.
yeah, that's bad. That's all the indication of your popularity there is that if you have more hate, that you have to lock down your social media. It's like John. It's like these people.
Stuttering John.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Because I get hate, but I do get more love than hate. And if I'm not, so
and I
much
apologize
shit
for that,
my-
Alex. Stop bringing it
Don't
up.
be sorry.
That's
Don't be
all
sorry.
it goes. No, but what I'm just saying, that's a very bad indicator.
Of course.
And we know that these interviews are very effective. Celebrities tweet, gee, best interview I ever had.
Dana Plato.
We've had people like Billy Corgan come in and their album goes into the top 10.
Sure it does.
We've had books that have gone into the
Smashing
top
Pumpkins
10.
did a
We're
good
pretty
album.
amazing.
Shut up. That's how.
But nobody knows it. We're now on satellite radio. And
He was
now
just
that we're
on like 2
satellite
weeks ago.
radio, We're
No,
in sort
last
of our
week.
own little
Sorry,
protected
last
bubble.
week.
But what's happening is people are forgetting that this is the best fucking medium for any guest to be booked on, whether they're in the field of books, whether they're in music. Look at what we do for guests. We have a news department that actually promotes them after they're in. We play their shows over multiple times. Who is doing this? But who is communicating this to publicists? If I'm a publicist, I'm not sitting
Alex is so working as Dr. Evil right now. I love everything about it.
I'm thinking about the Howard Stern show.
Oh, that's
I'm
awesome.
thinking about some other fucking show that I see on TV. I'm not in the world of satellite. I don't have satellite in my car. I'm not thinking about satellite. We better start fucking telling publicists and everyone else who we are.
Can I point something out
All
real
of
quick,
us,
Mo?
this is all of our job. The theme of
This
today.
is another thing where Howard's a little short-sighted on this. And I remember when he used to bitch about YouTube, and people were putting YouTube clips from the E! Show or Howard TV. and
Constantly,
things.
though, Carl. Constantly,
Yep.
white knighting, all of his content stolen. So good.
But he was constantly getting those things taken down and struck down and,
Yes.
and getting them taken off.
in the
So he was-
early days, when that
Right.
was impossible to do, he was in MLB baseball, were the only people that could do it. Sorry.
And so he was creating this walled garden for himself where you couldn't stumble upon Howard Stern content if you tried. It just wasn't anywhere to be found. And so he kind of created this problem for himself where it's like out of sight, out of mind. Oh, Howard went to Sirius. We don't hear him on FM anymore. He's not on TV anymore. He's gone.
You know
He
why?
should have been all over this.
Because he has always revered SNL. And usually SNL has like a total lockdown on like their clips, the commentary. You only see what they want you to see. And
Right.
that's what he tried to do. So he shut everybody down and decided that I am in control of all of my content. And it miserably backfired on him because it made him less and less relevant as the days go by. Wait, you have 2 cats? What's going on there?
Yeah. Where do you think all of his good content is, too? Because he's got all those.
We have
what
no
are they-
idea.
What were they called, Casey? They're called carts. He's got all those carts that they were digitizing from the good old days. They don't play any of that good shit, and now they go and edit arty out of everything. I mean, is there even going to be a good catalog unless it's bootlegged from the internet? Like a matter of fact, let me even name drop, because if there's real Howard Stern fans in here, there's a girl that works with the Tucker Carlson show who's a friend of mine, just a friend of mine, but she actually worked at the Howard Stern show, and she was in the intern beauty contest, and I want to find that clip for her from that episode. I cannot find it in the world, and this is, the intern beauty contest was like a one-time-a-year thing. This was not like just the most random thing, but it just sucks you can't find any of this old good content.
You want to know why? You want to know why you can't find that?
can't do that
Because
shit now.
there's been a couple of lawsuits from the interns that were in the beauty pageants. I
Yeah,
know
because
this.
Casey knocked them all
that's
up.
why it's so hard. No, I mean, it's I've sent people because I wanted to give a favor. This girl's like, oh, I can't ever find that clip. And
Alex.
I got a guy that's like a Stern archivist. He's like, no, I can't find it. I'm like,
No,
what the hell?
don't talk to anybody but me about that. PM me on Twitter. Tell me which year it is and the
Yeah, I'll
date,
tell
and
you.
I'll get it for you.
Yeah, I'll give you the.
I can
Okay,
get it
cool,
for you
cool, cool.
immediately, so no worries there.
Awesome, Monique. Okay,
All right, here we go.
meeting this is everyone who's sitting here job, not just mine, because you know what? If this show isn't here in 3 years, you don't have a fucking job.
Oh, God.
So good to his people.
Yeah,
We should be blasting it on Twitter. We need to spread the word virally.
To encourage
We had a guy come in.
And this is what he puts as results, okay? A guy who had an
Yeah.
ugly app, which is no longer available. He had maybe hundreds of people that had the app, but this is what
That
he
guy
uses.
lied. That guy didn't make $1 million off that fake app that rated Ronnie 0. They all, like Eric the actor, sold 10 apps. Shut the fuck up, Howard. She's my
Fast
friend.
forward,
Who had
Howard's
something
going to be
called
like,
the ugly.
we had the guy from FTX on, and this guy is now a billionaire because of me.
Yeah. The dumbest, stupidest idea
Yeah.
on the planet.
And the creator, Rocky Denny.
He walked out of our show, all right, maybe not a millionaire, but 100,000-aire.
What kind of era?
He's a liar. He just lied. He just like admitted he said that out loud. It's like, this is such bullshit. He's not a millionaire, 100,000-aire.
He had the balls.
I know, but he had the audacity to type a millionaire. It's like, oh, these peons, I'm gonna say this dumbass made this app make him a millionaire, and then he said it out loud. He's like, oh god dang it, I can't. Yeah.
Stern Show delivers.
Success story in the history of radio. I don't know what is. Who the fuck knows about it? Well, the people in this room. From now on, we share all of our success with the world. We're going to get the word out in 2013. Billy Corgan was off the radar. He came on our show, and he sold albums. How does every record company in the world not know about this? Because we're not telling them. We're not doing our jobs. People beg to get on.
He hates Oprah so much. He's so jealous of her. He's so jealous of her ability to like go and do and be with people and travel.
Yeah, but he
Also,
wouldn't
he's
have the
calling
Black
out Gary
Keys on.
directly.
Didn't the Black Keys end up going on? But he wouldn't have the Black Keys on when they were like #1.
Oh, people begged him for the Black Keys, begged him. He said, I wouldn't have ever had you guys on if it wasn't because everybody in my back office wanted me to have you. I don't even know who you are. He's such a basic bitch, though, when it comes to music. Like, you know he doesn't listen to anybody good. And you know back in the 70s, he was listening to, like, America and Bread and shit like that. But he was totally not, like, a Zeppelin, hard rock, Sabbath guy at all. He still isn't. He still listens to Train and.
If you listen, if you go look at his
Goo Goo
outfits
Dolls.
in the NBC days, when he's kind of pudgy, has the mustache, he's wearing like the weird, bad fitting polo. He had no swag. He had a zero swag level when he was at NBC, and so that's obviously the same swag he had in DC. So maybe he might have been funny, but he had no like edgy Ralph Silver, whatever, what is it, gothic Chris Angel look.
Well, he stole that all from Dee Snider. That was like his thing.
Yeah, Dee Snider, that's who he stole from.
Yeah, he decided that.
How many
this
times
guy.
could you have heard all the young dudes?
Yeah, exactly. Look at him, dude. That is like what I look. I mean, that's just like a polo shirt. I mean, that's just dad clothes. He was not edgy at all. I mean,
Look at him.
Jeans.
Zero game.
That's like what
0.0
Karl
game.
wears. He doesn't wear a collared shirt, but
That's a
you know what I'm
Karl. Well,
saying.
Karl dressed for the occasion today. Yeah, he was very
Yeah.
good about that. You know, Karl's good that way.
That was
All right,
supposed
here
to
we
be,
go.
make me look bad, Alex, every time.
Because they think she sells books.
She does.
They think she sells records.
She
Bullshit.
does.
Yeah. Okay, great. In some demos she does, but not in the world of rock and roll.
Oh, you're the man.
Somebody puts out a rock book, whether it's a rock record. We're the place to go.
Yeah,
Publicists don't think
Oprah
about us.
supports Slipknot.
They don't
No
care
doubt.
about us. Some do. Most don't.
Oprah had on Ramstein last week. You know,
Yeah.
See? It's a huge fucking success.
We also work at Sirius that has an art department and they have a
Packets.
publicity department,
Packets.
and we're not using them. Now we're going to.
These are like the flyers that you see at that shitty hotel when you're on 95 driving down to Florida. These are like, this is
what
what
they
he
give you to
uses.
join the Church of Scientology. They give you the same thing. They've handed it to me.
Exactly.
Alex, are you anti-Scientology? You brought that up a
Yeah,
couple
what's
times
wrong with
now.
you?
I'm
Yeah,
joining.
we need to
I'm
talk.
secretly
All right,
joining.
good.
Good.
We need to
Church
talk
of
about this.
Scientology. I'm trying to. You know who? Now I'm friends with this guy Aaron Lewis Smith, who's like one of their biggest enemies. So now I've like even gone after him more because I've teamed up with one of their enemies. So I just love Scientology. It's
I'm
it's
sorry, did
Howard
you just say
Stern and Howard-
Steinentology?
Yeah, Scientology is my own offshoot version. You can
He's
go
gonna have
clear,
packets
Monique. I can
distributed
help
to-
you out for $200. We can get started and get you on the path to going fully clear.
Publicists with all of the information I'm giving you. We're going to become packet and marketing crazy
Wow,
in 2013. And we're going to
Look
build
at the picture.
relationships.
We're going to
with
spam publicists. We're going to get the best people on.
We're
Look
gonna
at the
be
picture.
as annoying as we can. Yeah, we're gonna stand the shit out of it.
Jesus Christ.
everyone's management. We're in satellite. It's not the same reach as terrestrial radio. We got to get the word out. We got to shake hands. It's like we're running for office. It's like we're Jehovah's Witnesses. We knock on people's doors and get guests in here. Guests are the best bit that we can have.
No more door knocking.
An hour with a great guest. And every one of these guests should be on our show. And dare I say, when I fucking hear people say, well, that guy's not going to want to come in here, it's bullshit. From now on, I don't want to hear it.
Okay,
They
I
should
have
be
to pause
begging
it.
us.
Sorry. I'll stop doing this. I'll stop being annoying. But
No, you can always interrupt.
Gary Delabate, the biggest clout chaser in the world, knows every guest, every person. He can remember every song from 25 years ago. It's not like Howard doesn't know every guest. Like what the hell is? Why is he talking about the publicists and stuff? I'm very confused. Like
it's all about Gary. It's all about Gary has been with him since he got out of college. It's the only job Gary has ever had. Gary knows absolutely nothing about business other than what his boss has taught him. So with the whole familiarity breeds contempt thing that goes on with somebody who wears fucking Adidas sweatsuits to work every single day, and if somebody tells him no, he probably was like, okay, buff, and then just moved on to somebody else. So all of this, I think, relates to like Gary, Jason, like the people who he relied on too much to bring in guests.
Mo, that's one of the things that I don't think I ever told you. And that was something that we were always told. Gary was one of the best bosses I ever had. And I will say that about him. But going along with this, I asked him one time, I said, Gary, how come I see Britney Spears is in town? How come I don't just call the publicist here and see what I can do? And he's like, no, the only person that was going to do that stuff was him, unless that like Britney Spears' people contacted Howard's show. So he was going to go out and get the A-listers. So I think this, if I in my professional opinion, if I have one, from being there, I think this was put together for that reason, where you don't wait for them to come here, you go after them, because I want to talk to A-list guests. I don't know. Does that make any sense?
Yes,
no, totally
duh.
makes
You're
sense.
supposed to go find the guests. That's how it works. I mean, guests do come to you to pub stuff, but I mean, a good person, you don't want a guest that wants to come on your show. You want to get a guest that doesn't want to come on your show. That's the whole point of getting a good guest. I mean, duh.
How many people do you have working for you now, Alex?
One, a guy named JVT's an idiot, and he graduated from Princeton. He's an idiot, but I do have one employee, yes, and I have about 4 bosses that I've never had, which is fine. Which is, it is what it is. But yeah,
Okay,
I have
Joe
an
Rogan.
employee.
Joe Rogan has, I think, 5 people working for him, maybe 4, and he doesn't have this issue, and it's because the people that he hired are competent. And that's the difference. Howard can't fire anybody. He's scared to fire anybody, except for, of course, Shuli and Brent. But he is.
Whoa!
Wait, you say Shuli was fired?
Shuli did not get fired.
I see. Wait. What? Because that's definitely hit the drop. Wait. Shuli, I do believe that they asked Shuli to take kind of a limited role, and he probably pieced out. I don't know if that's firing. I seem to believe that.
You know the way sometimes when you really don't want somebody to work for you anymore, what's one of the things that you do before you fire them? What do you do?
You kind of
that's right.
You
You minimalize them and you lower their salary and you tell them that's your cue. That's your cue to go. And just so you know, I have nothing against Shuli. I just love every once in a while getting a dig in. Because I can, because he won't come on my show.
Well, this is what I would say to Shuli, and I think I did say this to him on a show, though. He was like so mad that Marcy Turk wanted them to dress nicer, but there is something about dressing kind of nicer in a workplace that you kind of have to do. I know it's like radio, you're up at 6 in the morning, and I get that vibe too. There's that old school radio disc jockey, but Howard's trying to run this thing like the David Letterman show. He's trying to run this like the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. You're not going to, even when fucking dumbass stuttering John worked for Jay Leno, he had a Men's Warehouse suit he probably wore, I mean, that's just how it works.
1,000%.
This isn't just radio.
Yeah.
Right. So they are on TV, but I can't tell you how many clips we have played, MP4s or video clips that we have played where Gary is wearing the same exact Adidas tracksuit. Like he wore
Shuli should have put on a
every
sport
single
coat.
day.
Not that big a deal. Yeah, but after that, I feel like Gary did put on the whatever untucked.
He had no choice. After this, he had no choice. He started to dress. He stopped wearing ripped jeans and
record
Adidas
companies should be begging us because we can actually still sell records. Record labels need to know what we do. I've got walls of gold records attributing sales of these records to our show. Are we sending letters to people describing what we're doing on the show? No, we're not. We're not doing jack shit. We make a call. Oh, I don't want to do the show. Okay, goodbye. What about a letter?
See, that's exactly about Gary Delabate.
Howard.
Right there.
That's
100%. That's a shot at Gary right there.
100%. Me buff?
TV. You guys do great production. Why shouldn't it be that...
Again, Richard, Richard played drums in a band and was a caller and won a fictitious made-up contest.
And lived in a shack and didn't shower for a decade. Like, Richard's not the guy that's going to get guests on the show.
Exactly. So what does he know about creative publicity pitches? Sal worked in a boiler room. Also, fan of the show, gets a job because he calls in and makes fun of Gary. So Howard surrounded himself with people who have no competency level in radio, publicity, anything, yet he expects these people to up their game and be able to do a job that they have never, ever been able to do. This is why it didn't work.
The news team makes sense.
Hey,
What?
The news team makes sense.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck?
I just don't think they care that much.
let's pitch Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Why don't we have a couple of 30-second donuts, the best commercials, to show Tom Cruise who's done our show? Billy Joel, David Bowie.
The list goes on.
Julia Roberts, Paul McCartney.
There we go.
Where's the fucking commercial that we send to publicists? Don't have one. So I propose that part of our marketing strategy, Howard TV is going to be part of this marketing strategy. And they're going to be making some great pitches.
They were fired like a year later, just so you know.
Howard Stern.
On air is how they found out that they were let go. And Howard never talked to them again.
And an Uncle
What,
Sam
he hired
hat.
a third-party
Howard
marketing
Stern
firm? Is that what he did?
No, Howard TV got fired on air.
Oh, yeah, Howard TV. Yeah.
On air.
How did he it was on air? He just said, oh, we're not coming back with Howard TV? How did he do it? I don't remember how that
Yeah, he basically said, that the staff, unfortunately, has to be let go because, no, he said we're shutting down Howard Stern pay-per-view. And everybody's like, well, what does that mean? What does that mean for our jobs?
There had to be a network out there, some cable network that would wanted to show Howard's show. I mean, why would he put it behind a paywall? He was the original paywall guy. Like, and I had that. I had Howard TV. I paid $25 a month or whatever when it first came out.
Because
I don't know why.
Because
why he wouldn't give it
that's
out? Make a deal with E. Make a deal with VH1.
No, well, he had the E show. That's how many people who didn't have Howard in their segment, in their market, knew about Howard Stern to begin with. But that's the whole reason he did the Sibian and the painting of the tits with the, four-leaf clover and stuff like that, was because it was salacious TV. He didn't give a shit about any of this stuff. He's as asexual as they come. Yeah. And so this is what titillated people. And then so he figured if I could take all the pixelation away and put that on a pay channel, that would make it even better.
Mo, he said that the ratings, or the E people said that the ratings went up like by double if you had a celebrity and just a girl in a bathing suit just turning letters or something like that, that the ratings would go up twofold, rather than to just see a celebrity. So it was that important to have the TNA on there. And I guess maybe when he was going to this new thing, maybe he didn't want to get involved with that TNA, even though it did bring in the numbers. I don't know. I was gone by that point, so I'm just taking a wild guess here, and I hope it's just something to think about.
He went from TNA to gay. I mean, when he starts over,
You know what? It really this is such a classic example of how a show went complete 180 from tits and ass and everything to Sal putting his taint on Richard's face, and them having like a great laugh.
Even my YouTube analytics, and I bet Karl's are the same. It says 85% male. Karl's is probably the same.
Mine too.
I'm sure Howard's is the exact same. So
from TNA to DNA is what he went to.
DOA. And then show them the incredible, in 30 seconds, bam, 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 the clips, this to that. Where is the marketing push? Why are we not all involved? It's bugging the shit out of me, and I don't know why we're not. So we're going to tell publicists everything.
The spacing, it just all drives me insane. It really does.
We work with you to reach your goals. We give you multiple plugs. No one gives you as many plugs as we do. We sell records. We sell books. We sell product. We sell concerts. And then we begin to email people, and we blast them. And by blast them, I mean...
annoy them.
Every month.
I'm talking spam.
Our team, our core team, is going to make sure that all the key publicists, all the key management, artists that we can get to are going to be contacted.
By who?
No one is going to forget that we exist.
By who? Who's doing
We are
this
going to
job?
be like Mooney.
Yeah, I'm still confused why
leverage
he's
friends
having
with the-
trouble contacting celebrities when he's. I mean, this doesn't make sense. But I guess what do I know? I'm blown away. He's been in the business for 40 years.
Alex,
and he can't get A-list celebrities?
most of this meeting should have been with a smaller group of people who are in charge of booking
10 people.
guests.
Totally.
Yes, yeah.
Instead, you got like Shuley in there and Richard and Sal, and other people are just like, well, I don't. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I make prank phone calls. That's what I do.
I swear I saw a high-pitched Eric down there in the front. I don't know. But
I'm still eating fucking ramen every night. How am I supposed to? So this is an addition to my current job. This is what you're telling me. Yeah.
And did Howard get Jennifer Aniston? Has she come on a bunch? Because I know he like hangs out with her. Does he get those people that he hangs out with? Do they come on the show?
A bunch. So basically, every good guest he's gotten lately is either somebody who was given to him by Sirius or
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Jimmy
Are they
Kimmel.
good when they come on, Mo?
Huh?
Are they good when they come on?
You know, it depends on the person. He loves to psychoanalyze people, and I think that's because pretty much every single stupid fucking star out there has gone to therapy, so they can talk the language. They can talk the talk of Therapy 101. Yeah. So that's how he kind of gets into them. But so many times he'll be like, isn't it true that you did blah, blah, blah? And they're like, no, that's actually not true at all. But he doesn't really do the research unless it's somebody he really likes. And everybody he's had on lately is a guest that he's had on the year before and the year before that. The guest on Monday is going to be Nick Cannon. Prolific fucking birther.
Oh,
Nick
gosh.
Cannon.
But he's probably mad because he sees Jimmy Kimmel, doing this, and that's probably what he's trying to emulate with this. Is like, obviously all those shows, but like he probably sees Jimmy Kimmel saying that, I tell my crew to do this. I just feel like this seems kind of, Jimmy Kimmel influence.
It's kind of desperate, though. Honestly, it's really desperate to me.
Yeah. Okay. Court. What do I mean by friends of the court? Whitney Cummings was doing jack shit when we found her. She was in clubs.
That's true.
She was going nowhere fast.
Okay.
Jerry Seinfeld had a show called The Seinfeld Chronicles.
He didn't put Jerry on the map. Jerry kind of didn't go on the show. Not Jerry.
It was the roast. It was the Comedy Central roast that put Whitney on the map, not Howard Stern. Everyone knows Whitney from the Comedy Central roast.
Kinda, but she lost. She lost the hottest funny chick to April Macy, I believe, on the show.
Well, you know that, Alex Stein. You're a super fan. Everyone else knows her from the roast.
Okay, well, go ahead. Sorry.
And then watch this. He doesn't even know Kathy Griffin's name. This is great right here.
This is great.
He's like, what's her name?
This woman was nowhere when she did our show. Jon Stewart used to come on when The Daily Show started, and he'd be a regular guest. What happened to this guy? I haven't even fucking seen him.
Jon Stewart was in there for the gay dancing. That was the best bit ever. That was not even that. I mean,
oh, you talking about the gay dance party?
Yes, that's how they talk about. That was like the one time he went on and never went on again.
Nobody was looking for him before The Voice. And David Letterman, I've done his show I don't know how many times, probably 27 fucking times, and he's only been on our show twice. These guys are friends of the court, which means they're going to get an email.
Oh.
Hey, happy anniversary. It's been 10 years. Today's the day you were on our show 10 years ago, and we haven't seen you. We were there for you when you started. We were there for you the whole time.
One way.
Seinfeld, we helped you with Seinfeld. Whitney, where were you? Whitney Cummings was just on Good Morning America, Today Show. She was on a million shows. She finally has something going on where we'd be interested in her, and she's not doing our show. She does it occasionally, but we weren't top on her list. Jon Stewart is hotter than a pistol. Why is he not on our show anymore? Let's ask him. Let's invite him to the party. Friends of the court, we expect you to come in.
What's his name? Didn't Sal say Jon Stewart wasn't funny or something to Jon Stewart? Wasn't there some controversy with that? I remember he said that he liked the Bobby Flay, his burgers taste like pussy. But I think he said something there was some controversy with Sal and Jon Stewart from what I believe.
Sorry, I just needed to have a little bit of this while you're talking.
Oh, no.
That's the gay dance party.
It's the gay dance party. Look at you. Look at you.
What's gay about this? I don't get it.
Very hetero.
Okay, see, if you were a female, you would have been totally exploited. You would have sued him, made a shit ton of money. It would have been just beautiful. But yeah, look at all the...
Mitch Hedberg. And that's Mitch Hedberg? Is that Mitch Hedberg in there?
Where?
On the couch.
Okay, hold on.
That's huge.
You're 100% woman.
Look at Casey. Casey.
Yeah, he can't fit in the uniform.
See, The only human being that should feel comfortable amongst it. Yeah, Gary, that's where fucking sorry.
You've been attracted to men. Look at the guys and decide who you want.
I like Casey.
Casey?
Rest in peace for the
He's
old
dead, right?
wait, hold on. Here's the dance order.
Scott the Pace is almost making out with his part.
Jesus Christ. They were so into it. There's Howard dancing.
What happens?
Look at this. Jesus Christ.
I mean, this is funny.
This is just ridiculous.
Oh my God, they were really making out. Damn,
oh my God, totally.
that's-
Totally.
By the way, the gayest thing here is the Goo Goo Dolls. I'm just going to say it.
Totally.
Yeah, Jon Stewart should visit us 2 times a year. I don't think that's too much to ask. I've done his show. We were once your marketing strategy, and now we need you to be part of ours. Payback. Where is the list of people who did our show who we really helped? And why are we not calling on these people to help us in the future?
Yeah, Gary.
We're talking about the success of the Howard Stern Show. Your job, my job, and this isn't being addressed. I'm going to put together a core team. By March 1st, there'll be a core team that gets put together that regularly strategizes on how we're going to make this part of my vision come true. We should let Lana Wachowski and her people know who we are. We're talking to a male homophobic audience. We have a lot of homophobia in our audience. Howard is a regular speaker on gay and lesbian and transgender topics. He has stood up for the gay community. In the case of Ellen DeGeneres, he asked his audience to boycott JCPenney. In the case of Rosie O'Donnell, he stuck up for her.
I love the way he's talking in third person, too. Like, I'm not really understanding this whole fucking thing.
He's telling them how to pitch the show. I am so offended by the fact that he called his audience homophobic. It's insane to me. Like, yeah, people who like my show are racist and homophobes.
A bunch of
the
fucking
worst
pigs.
people on earth. Yeah, like, Jesus.
Well, they care about like pussy.
You're talking about me, buddy. What's going on?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That shows you why he makes us watch the gay stuff, because he thinks we're homophobic. That's ridiculous.
Do you think, though? I mean,
it's not working.
Yeah,
it's not working.
Punish us.
You know why? It's
That's
because
why
they
got
won't
rid
sue.
of the. That's because they had the original. They had the original Reddit. What was it? The Howard Stern Fan Network or whatever. I'm just
Stern
saying.
Fan
Yeah,
Network.
the Stern Fan Network. I'm saying Howard hates his own fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I'll piss on my fans. That's what
She
he's
had
always
a
said.
gay cruise, and she was attacked for it.
Moving on.
I'm blowing this guy on the air every single day, practically. Does he know it? Does he get copies of it? He should be bombarded. Neil Young shouldn't be able to shit without hearing somebody talking about me. He doesn't know what we do. He doesn't know that we can offer him a live concert at one of those things that they did for Bon Jovi yesterday on Sirius. We can leverage using all of Sirius with a recording artist. We bribe them. We offer them stuff. We find out what appeals to them. We have to become part of their marketing strategy. That's what professional organizations do. We say to them, what do you need? Here's what we think we can offer. Eddie Vedder's never done my show. Eddie Vedder, we can't get him. What do you mean we can't get him? We know Natalie Main. She's a friend of the court. Let's get the materials to Natalie and say, would you pass these on to Eddie personally? Play tape of me on the air talking about Eddie and singing along to Jeremy Spoke.
That's not what that is. Wait, does that say he's the lead singer of Soundgarden right there on that?
Oh, wait, let me see.
Back that up a second. I don't think I ever noticed that before.
Show Eddie, the lead singer from Soundgarden, on our show.
Okay, all right. I thought
I was going to say, holy
Let's get
shit.
the materials to Natalie and say, would you pass these on to Eddie personally?
Jeremy Spoke.
Play tape of me on the air talking about Eddie and singing along to Jeremy Spoke. Someone's got to sit down and think this through.
So, do they not know Chris Cornell's name when they made that
No,
slide?
he never remembers Chris Cornell's name. Never remembers it, even today.
It's embarrassing.
I mentioned this to some people. You got to think like, it's the Howard Stern Show I work for. How do we get the word
Twitter
out?
accounts?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Wow.
Wait, do you
make
not know
burner
from this?
accounts.
This is like the best part of the whole show.
I forget that. I mean, I've seen clips of this. Wow, I didn't. He said to make fake Twitter accounts. This is scummy. I mean, seriously. I mean, what, Howard?
So set up a fake Twitter account. Become 10 different people. I don't give a shit.
By the way,
Every
I want
celebrity
to point
starts
out real
getting just
quick. This is a thing that Stuttering John ragged on Howard for the most. Meanwhile, Stuttering John's been caught with so many fake Twitter accounts.
So many. So many.
But I'm just saying, encouraging them to do that. That's like, I mean, come on. That's weird. Do it from your real accounts. Yeah, do it from. I mean, yeah, that's weird. Yeah, that's weird.
It's such desperation.
Things from fans.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
when are you going to do the Howard Stern show? We want you on the show. And they're getting all this publicity material. And
Oh my God, some bots. I'm going to go to the Howard Stern show. I'm an A-list celebrity. Now I'm going to go on. Like, shut up.
Maple Leaf fan 47.
Oh, geez.
It works. But everyone in this room, I'm telling you, is responsible for involvement, pitching guests, and strategizing. It's up to us. If we don't do this, I think we're in trouble. We're going to have weekly publicist lunches, touching people, looking at people, pitching people, and whining and dining.
By the way, he's not doing any of this. This is for all the $35,000.
We will actively pursue A-list guests we're tracking. So I'm not just talking a good game. There will be systems in place to track what you've done. Have you helped this effort? On the monologue stuff, I get a sheet. I know who writes the most jokes. I know whose jokes I use. I'm going to know everything about our business. Nothing will escape me. So if you're not doing your job, I'll know. We're going to write down every bit of success we have. So if a publicist calls our core team and someone isn't quite sure what the pitch is, they're going to open the handbook and say, hey, by the way, did you know we did this? We accomplished that. We accomplished this. We accomplished that. We did this. We did that. We're going to fucking give them all an avalanche.
Who talks like this during a meeting? Like, seriously. There were like serious executives in the audience. They were like...
Well, I was just going to say, I've been this guy presenting in front of a large number of people many times because I've been in business. And one of the things you got to do, you lose people over a certain amount of time. Like, people are going to remember certain parts, maybe the beginning, maybe the end. He's got to condense this whole thing way down. The core points he's making, he could have made in 15 minutes.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? And then the other stuff where it's like how they're going to do it and these other teams and things, like those are separate meetings after the fact.
Set up your breakout meetings.
Right. This should have been like guys, I got a vision. This is our new future. A-list celebrities. Here's how we're going to do it. And then like figure out all the other shit where he's getting the illustration team involved and the pamphlets. Like that doesn't need to be a part of the core presentation.
And there's like 100 people in the audience here doing
it. Of stuff that we're doing.
This is why there's no second part.
If I can interrupt you for 1 second, I'm very sorry, but I was supposed to go like a half hour ago, so I got to get out of here. But if there's a part 2, I'd love to come back.
There is not going to be a part 2 because we're even bored with this fucking shit, to be honest with you.
I'm so happy to be a part of this. Thank you guys so much, but I really got to sprint out the door. I love you all.
All right, feel better.
Casey, talk to you soon.
All right, yeah, we're done with this too. I'm like bored with it myself. I have to be honest with you. He's boring me to tears.
We've been on for almost 2 hours, so I mean, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, no, we're kind of over him. I'm removing him from our feed right now. Fuck him. It's boring. I'm done. We're over.
I do have a quick message coming in live from High Pitch. He wanted everyone to know about this.
Friend. Very good friends.
Who are these
I spent time.
The Holocaust wasn't real.
Whoa, High Pitch.
That's not even real.
We're on YouTube.
I've hung out with High Pitch. It was insane. I took him to the TikTok diner and I bought fish to scare him. He didn't react, and he ordered all
TikTok
this
diner
food.
en route.
No, it's in Manhattan. It's like next to Madison Square Garden, I think is what it was. I'm pretty sure. I think it's a chain. I think there's a few of them in Manhattan, or there's like you've probably seen one before. I think it's a chain. But then
Does he smell?
Yeah, he was kind of gross. His gums were kind of gross, and he was just fat and sloppy, which is not that I'm some super thin guy, but he was a mess.
Wendy smells too. I met her. Wendy smells
she's
horrific.
Dude, compared to High Pitch, I'm Casey Armstrong. All right.
Oh, my God,
yeah,
totally.
Of course.
Totally.
So Monique, who is do you wish that you were, oh my gosh, why am I drawing up Marion from Brooklyn? You're kind of like the podcasting Marion from Brooklyn.
Do I wish I was Marion from Brooklyn? I have no.
I wish you were best friends with her.
I have no thoughts.
Shots fired.
I have no thoughts about having a hero worship that defines my entire personality. It's like I leave you guys, I hang up with this. I don't give a shit about it until he's on again. Like it's she lives and breathes this man, and it's actually kind of shockingly pathetic.
Have you ever met her? You ever met?
Yeah, I interviewed her once. I interviewed her once, making believe that I was doing like a pro Howard Stern podcast when I was first doing it, and she was standing outside dressed like a princess in front of AGT. At Radio City. Wow. And I lived like 2 blocks from there. So I just walked over there and told her, love what you do. And I asked her if she got paid for it and all this other stuff. And then she found out that I was anti-Howard. And so she made the entirety of the Whack Pack block me. And she said, you're a fucking cunt. You should die. You're so horrible to Howard. You're a horrible human being. So cut to 3 years later. And I made believe I was a photographer outside of the Daily Show. No. What's the one? The Tonight Show. And he was going to be on that night. So I got a press pass and I stood with the press and I saw her across the street. So I'm like, oh, hey, can I take a picture? And she knew immediately it was me. And she just like turned her head to me and wouldn't say anything to me. And that's the last time I saw her. But I got some great shots of Howard and, his wife going in with his 7 bodyguards, with his security team that like surrounds him on a constant basis.
Well, before we go, I got to ask, I'd like to get Karl and your opinion. Do you think Howard has been aware of any of the Shuley Network and Stuttering John? Do you think he has to have known something? I mean, somebody's had to have said, hey, there's this thing on the internet. Yeah, I mean, there's this thing on the internet where Stuttering John is popular. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know how dialed in Gary is.
His whole staff knows. We know that for a fact.
They own that. The whole staff
We've all communicated with them. They all know. So I want to know how
they'd be insane not to be able to see. There's a constant. I mean, there's content creators that all they do is make Stuttering John content. Like you know what I'm saying? Accidentally, if you go on YouTube, if you watch a Howard Stern video, you've been suggested it.
He and Ralph blocked me on the very same day.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then he got my very popular YouTube channel taken down the day after I put up a picture. The day after I put up a picture of his new grandchild and did the breaking news that Howard's now a grandfather. And
did he not want people to know he's a grandfather? He's that fucking lame? He doesn't want people to know he's a grandfather?
He probably doesn't want the photo of his family up there. I get
that. But has he talked about how his daughter's having a baby? Because you would think that he did. I'm a grandfather.
Yeah, I made it really cute. I put sunglasses on it and a Howard Stern wig. So you couldn't really tell. It was cute. Yeah. It was all meant in good fun, And
was this the daughter that posed in the play naked that Opie and Anthony used to always talk about?
No, that's Emily. She's studying to be a rabbi, and she,
The nude one? The nude one's a rabbi?
The nude one's a rabbi, yes.
Oh, wow. I knew one of them was Orthodox. Isn't the other one Orthodox as well?
No, I don't think so. The other one lives out on the West Coast, and one of them apparently is getting married this summer, and he's so anti-going to the wedding that he is insisting that, I don't know, it's like 300 people or something, that they all get tested and show their test results before they walk in the door of the wedding.
He said this on air?
He's a good time. He's a really good
I think it was on Karl's show where you were reacting to that clip where like Gary was with his son and he was shaming Gary's son for like being affectionate to his dad during COVID when everybody's scared of dying. He's like, do not show your son affection right now.
He's just going to double down on this until his contract is over. He is absolutely never going back into that office. I truly believe that.
Alex, here's my take on this. If Howard Stern came out and just went all of a sudden out of nowhere, Robin, You see what Stuttering John's up to, Robin? You hear about this? You hear about the devil verse, Robin? It would go on for probably 2.5 hours. The phones would be lighting up. Yeah, the phones would be lighting up. It'd be the greatest thing he could ever do. And if he knows about it and he's resisting doing it, he's an idiot. Because it would really put him back on the map, I think.
And the best part about it is that everybody in the back office knows about it. So like JD would chime in and Jason would chime in. Everybody would chime in and make it.
Will Murray's messaged me. Like, all these guys know.
They would be like explaining it to Howard. They'd be, it's kind of hard to explain that he's just really popular. I think like it would be hard to explain to Howard why Stuttering John is relevant. You'd be like, well, yeah, there's just tons of podcasts that talk about him and they talk about his content. He's like, is he making good content? They're like, no, it's shitty content. That's why they like watching
they
it.
They could play the clips of Howard predicting that this is what Stuttering John would do with his future because Howard predicted all of this.
He predicted he'd be doing a podcast in his house with cockroaches? That's what he predicted?
No, predicted that he'd be destitute and alone and divorced and broke and all this stuff.
It's so sad. You hear Artie talking about in one of those old clips. He's like, "Yeah, I visited Southern John Rice in L.A. He has the most beautiful view of L.A." It's like,
Home
gosh,
Depot?
he just lost. No. It used to be. He used to have Artie talking about. Yeah, his first house is incredible, and he bought it. And the way he left was such bullshit. But I don't blame him for leaving, really, because if Jay Leno had backed up the Brinks truck when Howard Stern was paying you $50,000 a year living in Manhattan,
who wouldn't take that job?
No, Stuttering John did the right thing. He's just he has no talent. He made every connection. If you're on a Tonight Show, you make every connection with every publicist and celebrity in the world.
Every comedy
you
show.
You can't turn that into anything. That's insane.
Yeah.
He could not parlay it. You know what the shame is? He kind of, and you know the way Hollywood is, he kind of aged out. You look at an Alex Stein, right? Okay, you look at this young guy who does this shit, who has the energy to be able to, perpetuate this psychotic 100-mile-an-hour type of persona on a constant basis. I mean, it's shocking to me that you're able to do this, but you are, and you're a little bit more instant gratification, so you're just out there, boom, 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 boom. And John's aged out. So now he talks that.
You're giving him a pass. He didn't age out. He tried to make a movie. It flopped. He sucks at it.
Okay.
He went on the Stephanie Miller show. He flopped.
Yes.
He didn't last there. Like everything he did didn't work out. He tried to make a YouTube channel. Like nothing's worked out. He's not talented. He's not
the
funny.
YouTube channel unironically worked out. He just doesn't make he couldn't make any money from it, but it was a successful channel nonetheless. People ended up watching it. Honestly, Karl, I know you have a successful Patreon and stuff, but you would be doing this if people, didn't watch it. I'm saying you did it because you're passionate about it. And in a way, he made a show that now we watch. We watch it in a weird way. I hate watch it, but it's like, I would say this content kind of this was his most successful part of his career in a way.
In some ways. Yes.
In some ways, it really was, but
it's a beautiful thing. Oh, and by the way, he purchased that house for $2.5 million after NBC announced Conan would be taking over in a few years.
He bought a house he could barely afford. It was so stupid.
Yeah, but dude, you watch there's some documentaries, gosh, I wish I knew the YouTube channel, the name off, but they do talk about the new late night wars, because of course, Howard liked the old ones and it was Letterman versus Leno, but like the new ones were crazy about how Conan was promised it for 5 years and then they didn't want to fire Leno because he was number one at the time, to Leno's, point, why would you want to get taken off the air? You're number one. You're beating Letterman, who is, universally
Dude,
loved.
why are you laughing? Is that what you're talking about? My buddy
Blind
Mike.
Is that the documentary?
My buddy Blind Mike just
great.
Did a whole thing about that called "Why Are You Laughing?" Is the name of his show. They did a whole, and it's crazy. What went down.
This is what they did. The best one is a documentary. Then they talk about how Conan, was like, the biggest victim, this and that, about how Jay stayed. But then Conan did the same thing to George Lopez, and then everybody hates George Lopez in the Mexican community. They say George Lopez doesn't help Latino comics, like he won't let other Latino comics. But it's funny. So Conan O'Brien supposedly said, "Oh yeah, George Lopez, I'm going to take your spot. You're going to be after me. It's going to be great." And then literally less than a year, George Lopez was canceled on TBS or whatever. So he did the same thing to freaking George Lopez. So they're all scumbags.
And Conan just signed a $100 million deal with Sirius, so he gets the last laugh.
Conan did for his podcast. They paid.
Yes.
How is Sirius making money? I mean, they could get that podcast for $20 million.
It's a fucking Ponzi scheme. I don't understand. They're still throwing salaries up in the air. This whole premise is going to be obsolete in another 5 years.
Yes. Conan O'Brien could do a 5-day-a-week podcast, and he should be paid $5 million for that max. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a fair deal. Not that I'm an agent.
Very well.
He is incredible. Conan is incredible. I'm not hating, but
$150 million. Conan got $100 million.
Wow. I give him $20 million or something, I guess. But to do where it's not even super highly produced. His podcast is pretty. I mean, it's pretty basic,
but that's
right?
the beauty. So somebody like him gets that. Somebody like Joe Rogan has 5 or 6 people. Howard still has 70 human beings working for him.
Yeah, ways
70
to run a Zoom show, to run a show that you could do on StreamYard better.
That's exactly right. All right. So we're going to leave you at that. Guys, so Alex, it was really great meeting you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate you coming here, even though people hate me for it.
My pleasure.
But I love it.
And guys, everybody go watch my Blaze show. It's a primetime with Alex Stein. It airs Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central. And we're probably going to start Mondays here in the next month or two. So go check it out if you guys want to do me a favor.
And follow him. Follow him on all social media because he's pretty much everywhere. And everybody, where Karl is.
Oh, and I got and I'm not gonna say what I'm doing, but Monday I'm going to New York City again, and this could be my biggest video yet on Monday.
I wish I was going to be there. I'm going to New York soon.
My wife's boyfriend is going to be there. It's going to be huge.
How often do you go to the city? Alex?
How
How often do you go to New York?
All of them probably once every 2 months. I go a lot. I travel like every weekend, and I'm supposed to go speak at the Young Republicans in May, so I'm about to be back up there. But yeah, I travel like crazy because that's where the good shit is. It's always everywhere else. It's never always in Dallas.
Your Barstool thing was great. We featured that on the show I do with Blind Mike, and that was fantastic.
I appreciate that, and this is going to blow it out of the water. Okay, let's get out of here. I got to go do some stuff, but this is going to blow Barstool out of the water. It's always a pleasure. WATP.
More of these podcasts. White power.
Thanks, Alex. Good to see you, buddy.
See you guys.
Goodbye, Alex. Carl, thank you so much for coming on. This was fun. Yeah, I mean, we fell off the tracks, but that's okay. I kind of expected it. And that's fine.
I expected that too. Anytime you bring Alex, I do love Alex Stein, but it's tough to get a word in with that guy.
Not too dissimilar to when you threw me on with fucking Kumia and
AJ Benza. AJ Benza wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Wouldn't shut the fuck up. Seriously.
All right, so you got me back. I get it. We're even now.
So touche. That's all I have.
Love it. Thank you so much,
all
Monique, for having me on.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Take care. Oops, sorry. Sorry I didn't promote him, but you all know who he is. You know what he does. Sorry, Karl, did you want to come? I'm sorry. I realized that I didn't promote anything for you. I'm sorry.
Whoarethese.com is the website. Thank you so much, Mo. Bye, Mo.
Goodbye. Okay, well, there you go. That was our show. Exactly, Chaka Khan, exactly. So now Karl knows how Monique felt, and he's laughing in behind because he just saw that. All right, guys, so that's it. That was our Friday night show. And yeah, I'm really good with not seeing the Pelican brief again. You know, it's so funny when you do that and you really kind of scrutinize it and you've done it enough times, then you just kind of over it, you know, and Howard just starts to sound like a sad, pathetic old man. And really that's really all you got is just the sad dude. So yeah. All right, I guess that's it for us. And yeah, that's all I got. So we'll see you next week, Monday. And then I do believe that Howard is on vacation after that. And yes, be sure to help out KC. Go watch his videos. I know I need to get out into the sun. I'm feeling very ghostly. I got to tell you. Yeah, Alex basically takes up all the oxygen in a room. But that's okay. I expected it, and I knew he'd do that. And he's really good at understanding the Stern Show. He's a huge student of Howard Stern, so it was good to have him on. All right, guys. Yeah, it was exciting, and it was like really good energy. So you should leave me, and you should go over and check out what's going on with John and the Deepening. But I appreciate all of you. Do you want me to do it? Do you want me to fucking do it before I leave? Is that what you want? This is what you want. You know what I'm going to do? Because then I'll remove this when we're done. Here's what we're going to do. You ready? I'm going to play you the full Boys in the Hamptons. How about that? I'm going to do that for you right now. And that's what we're going to end the show with. It's 3 minutes and 50 seconds long. You've probably never seen it because, yes, I always do live streams, Cassius. We do them Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays when Stern is on. So I'm going to play it for you, and I'll probably have to remove it tomorrow, but I don't care. Doesn't really matter if I don't have the chats in this one. All right, here we go. Have a great night. I'll be in the comment section, but I'm going to play it in its entirety for you. In its entirety for you.
I want to feel the sun, have barbecues. I want to see my friends, the old and new. We'll turn on the game and share some laughs, and we'll play this and that. Now we'll say goodbye to rainy days, to the colder nights and the empty trees. Now full of life and colors new, and it's all here for you to see. Cloudless skies, summer days, feels just like it's on the way. Kids are out, safe to play, and it feels just like a beautiful day. Cloudless skies, summer days, feels just like it's on the way. Kids are out, safe to say that it feels just like a beautiful day. A beautiful day, a beautiful day, a beautiful day, a beautiful day. La da 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 da. feel the grass between my toes. I wanna hear the birds as they come and go. And I'd love to fly if I had wings, and I'd bring you with me. I wanna hit the beach, the ocean air, and we'll let the sand get everywhere. We'll watch the sun as it melts away, and I'll smile just the same with you. Cloudless sky, summer days, feels just like it's on the way. Kids are out, safe to play, and it feels just like a beautiful day. Cloudless sky, summer days, feels just like it's on the way. Kids are out, safe to say that it feels just like a beautiful day. A beautiful day. Beautiful day. Beautiful day. Beautiful day. La da 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 la da.
I actually can't even take it myself. I can't even take it. It's just brutal. But let's take note of the back of Howard's house and see how tremendous it is. I can't pause that because I have it built into our whole thing here. But yeah, it's just it is laundry room. It's so creepy. The whole thing is so freaking creepy. But I just couldn't take it anymore. It's the most basic bitch music I have ever heard in my life. What jiggle? What feet? I'm not doing anything. Marion, stop it. Here, you want a foot thing? I'll give you a foot thing. Hang on. Hang on. Okay. Feet. There you go. There's the feet. He's going to be on vacation for a week, the week after next, and then he'll be here in May, and then he'll be gone for the rest of the summer. That's all we got. I did it. It was too late. I did the feet. It's okay. It's just feet. Nobody cares about feet. Although I do have good feet, but it's just feet. All right. Now I'm done. Now I'm officially done, and I gotta go sleepy time. So good night. Hey guys, thanks for hanging with us tonight. Please join us for any further discussion at RadioGunk.com in the forum section. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at RadioGunk. And don't forget to like this and subscribe to us and hit that little bell so you know when we're doing a new show. Thanks.